Hey, welcome to another edition of Inside You. I'm Bill.
Raptor.
And it has been a minute. Well, it's not... Technically, it's been a week, because we were on somebody else's podcast. So if you listen to that, hooray! Your favorite D-level. We moved up. D-level podcasts.
Wow, we really have.
We did. D-level podcasts. But it's a new episode for... Well, not an... So today's another crossover, so it's not new. But
I mean, it is a new episode. But...
Well, new episode-ish, yes. New episode-ish? Well, new for you. Let's address a few things. One, I am running on completely empty. So I got work, I got school, and I have trying to plan another vacation with the kids, and so I'm not sleeping at all. So I am wired on coffee. Tim Hortons coffee, though.
Ooh.
Yeah. East Stroudsburg Target. Thank you for having the Tim Hortons. I got 2 bags, and I drank one, in 3 days. That's the amount of coffee I'm drinking. Alright, so, real quick. So, for those of... is someone doing their nails in the back? I hear... Is that a saw? Or is it like a filing device?
I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Okay, well, we'll just say that the noise in the background is Elmer Fudd trying to get that wascally wabbit out of a tree stump. So, for those of you who have been longtime listeners of this program, first of all, hey, thanks, man. Second of all, so we used to be on a provider called a host.
Anchor.
We used to be, yes. I didn't forget the name.
Oh, okay. I thought you did for a second. Relax.
So, we used to be on a platform called Anchor to host our show. That's where we recorded, where we edited, and things like that. So, we were courted away from Anchor by Spreaker, and we've had mucho success. Is that right context?
Yes.
Okay. I just learned about context today in my the written word class. So now I'm trying to use this big words. So we recorded away from Anchor to go to Spreaker, and since then our numbers have shot up through the roof, and we were able to actually softly reboot Gold Star Media, and it's been great. So as of now, this was last week when we were going over the numbers. And to my credit, I actually wrote down every single download number of all 100 and some odd episodes.
God.
And added them up from Anchor, and then I added them to Spreaker. So, as of right now, we are just at the cusp of 500,000 downloads total.
Holy shit.
Yes. Now, to put that in perspective, other popular... Not to say that we're not popular, because we like to think we are, and if we like to think we are, we are. Fuck them. But the number one podcasts like My Favorite Murder, WTF with Mark Maron, Smodcast, they get millions per episode. And you know what? That's fine. Because those people are famous. We're not famous. But we're infamous. See? Yeah. That's a big deal for us. I mean, we've put a lot of hard work into this, and a lot of hard work will continue to go into it. And so that's... It's something that we're proud of. So we just want to say thank you to all listeners. And, I mean, I when I added up, I double-checked the numbers, and I was just like, what? And then you had sent me Pandora numbers.
Yeah.
Which now granted, there's more thumbs down than thumbs up. You can't please them all. And to those of you who don't like your show, that is strictly your prerogative. However... if you don't like the show, fuck you.
Wow.
Sorry. That was, you know what? I apologize. That's really combative. If we're not your cup of tea, we understand. We have very opinionated views. Sometimes we're a little abrasive, and we understand. But to those of you who do enjoy us, keep listening, please. That would be nice. That'd be great. So we just want to say thank you, and we will report back when we hit 1 million. Probably 3-4 years from now.
Right?
Alright, so this new episode. So, we were on a show last week called 14 Going on 40. another show on Gold Star Media, hosted by Andrea Stadala and Melissa Vonderlaan. I think that's how you pronounce those last names. They're going to be so pissed when they listen to this and be like, hey, what the fuck, Bill?
Right?
So we were on their show, and their show is, they've been friends since they were 13, 14, and they review movies that have come out in the time of their friendship. We did a crossover where we reviewed She's All That. I still don't like that movie. I have listened to the episode a few times now. That cup of cheese story fuck kills it every time. And that's not me tooting my own horn because it was my story. It's just really funny. So we were on their show last week and we reviewed She's All That, and it was a great episode. So this week, the ladies from 14 Going on 40, Andreas and Melissa, are on our show. We did another crossover, and we're releasing it here, where we reviewed the absolute horror gem from 2004, Saw. Anything you want to say about the crossover before we throw to it?
I mean, it's always a fun time, like, when we just kind of even, like, get together and bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I mean, we're all horror fans,
mm-hmm.
so I think this was a really good one to introduce them to our audience.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a fun time doing it, so.
I will say, Raptor, that was the most toned down, non-expletive laden thing that you've ever said to me in my life.
I mean,
and I'll tell you what.
It can't rain all the time.
You know what? Props on the crow reference. Thank you. Second of all, I don't hate you being proper. I don't hate it. I don't.
I have my moments, all right?
You do. You sure do. No, Andrea, Melissa, Raptor, myself, we get along swimmingly, and it's nice to find podcast friends it's nice to find actual friends from different states, different time zones, different genres when we're in the podcast game. You know, Raptor and I'd like to think this podcast actually means something, and it's nice that actually we get positive feedback from other podcasters. So much so that we invited them to join Gold Star Media. They have, and it just gets weirder. All four of us have birthdays in May, which is totally fucked. I either had forgotten or didn't know or wasn't listening, but I think Melissa brought that up, and I was like, "Shut the fuck up." So yeah, and it's bore so much fruit that we may or may not have a podcast effort, a podcast project between the four of us coming up. Don't know. We might have to work some of that out, but the seeds are sown. So stay tuned if there's any news coming from that. We will see. But as it does whenever the four of us hang out, it involves alcohol. So,
yes, it does.
And my bar is fully stocked, and if I come home with any more, I think Stacy might break something actually over my head and start a bar fight.
I went to the liquor store, and all I kept hearing was, "Baby, they gave you a box."
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Like, I could just picture that in my head, like her staring at you as they, like, and they're like the cashier staring at you and then her staring at you at the same time while they slowly lower all this alcohol into a box. And
she was standing behind me because she was getting her own stuff.
Oh.
And I turned around and looked at her, and she, like, the look that she gave me was like, the fuck? I had to go get a cart because I couldn't hold everything. And then they gave me a box and a bag.
God, Raptor.
$128 later.
All right, well, but stay tuned for that if you like hearing the four of us on this one. And while you're at it, when you listen to this one and you're talking to yourself and you says to yourself, "What the hell's Bill saying when he says cup of cheese?" Well, go over and listen to 14 Going on 40, where we review She's All That, and you'll understand. With that said, we're going to kick rocks because this episode is long enough. It is a listener. But we promise it's funny. We promise it's funny. You can find us at Gold Star Media on Instagram, at Inside You Podcast, Facebook.com/Inside You Podcast, InsideYouPodcast.com. And you can find the 14 Going on 40 ladies at 14 Going on 40 Pod on Instagram and on Facebook. 14 Going on 40 Pod at gmail.com. We are Inside You. with Bill and Raptor at yahoo.com and put us inside you at gmail.com. That's a lot of social. My God,
Yeah,
I can't believe
is.
I remembered that. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna get the fuck out of here so you can enjoy this episode. Make sure to hit us up. Make sure to download. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, comment below, and
That was so gay.
yeah, well. Speaking of, Raptor and I created a drink this week called the Gay One. We'll have to share that with you sometime soon. But until next time, this has been Bill.
Raptor.
And we're pulling out. Enjoy this special crossover episode with 14 going on 40. We're pulling out. We'll see you soon. Laters.
Hi, friends. Welcome to 14 Going on 40, where two best friends revisit movies that have entertained us from the time we met until today. This is Melissa.
And this is Andrea.
And this is a crossover special episode with our friends at Inside You with Bill and the Raptor. Super exciting.
Hi.
Welcome.
Yay.
Awesome. So we all decided to watch a movie and come together for an episode. And so before we get into, we had a couple of technical glitches on our last one that we did. And we're hoping that we solved all that.
Yeah, good fingers crossed.
We're crossing our fingers that this is going to be super smooth sailing. Andrea and I have listened to Inside You, but Bill and Raptor, do you guys want to talk a little bit about what your show is all about?
Raptor, you want to go first? No? Okay, I'll take it. So, Inside You with Bill and the Raptor. Well, it's
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll, music, movies. Raptor's a lesbian. It's all wrapped up into a. And that's a running joke on our show. It's just,
It really is.
No, Raptor's my best friend. And we were looking for an excuse to kind of just hang out more. And it kind of morphed into me starting my own podcast, and then that was dog shit. So I was like, "Hey, bestie, want to come on here?" And she was like, "Say word." And then over 100 episodes later, here we are.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's just it's kind of like Chico and the Man, kind of like Fat Boy and the Lesbian. It's kind of that's kind of how it goes.
Fat Boy and the Lesbian, love it.
That's awesome. So I don't know how to transition from there. So we're just gonna figure it out.
We've all met before. Hi, I'm Bill. I make things uncomfortable.
Yeah, he does.
Well, because of our movie that we're going to be talking about, I had a question for you guys. If you have ever done an escape room?
No, and I don't plan on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Andrea?
Oh, okay. So literally right before we came on this call, they have escape rooms through Alexa.
Really?
No, fucking no.
And it was so much fun. And it was actually really good. And I will say we kicked ass, my family and we did a great job. But it was so much fun. But I have done other live escape rooms too. I actually really like them. I'm very much a puzzle person, so I like to figure my way out of things. I get a little bit competitive, and I get a little bit angry when people are doing dumb shit. So that can be a little uncomfortable, but I like it. Yes.
All right.
2 thumbs up for me.
How about you, Raptor?
I have never done one. I kind of want to, but I don't know. I guess it's more of the right people to do it with.
Did you say white people?
Yes. White
Okay.
people.
The white people
Raptor,
to
my
do
goodness.
It with. Yes,
Yes,
that's just
all the white people.
That's just what we want. Yes.
I do think that's a great
That's just what we want after the news for today. Not the white people point, but the right people point.
Shut up.
Yeah. Oh. That was just right there. We just had to. Yeah, it's been quite the day. So I already knew that Andrea has done escape rooms because we've done a few together. I do love them as well. I think they are, they're some pretty good entertainment, but I would agree that your instincts are spot on Raptor, that like you do kind of need the right group of people to do it with to make it fun. And I'm trying to think of, I was actually thinking to myself, what's the best one that I've ever done? Sometimes there's ones that have like really great themes and really good puzzles. And like the biggest ones that kind of came to mind to me is we did one that was, Andrea, were we together when we did that one that was the dinosaur one where the whole room shook?
The Jurassic Park one.
Yeah, so there's this company by us that they created an escape room.
It wasn't Jurassic Park. It was, quote unquote, Jurassic themed.
Yeah.
Because no copyright infringement there.
Right.
It's like, this is dinosaurs. Please don't sue us. But Jeff Goldblum may or may not be in here somewhere.
It was either, or was it Bigfoot?
Oh, what the fuck?
It might have been Bigfoot. Or was it Jurassic? Anyway,
we did one
the biggest, most memorable part is they built this escape room on top of one of those, those simulator rides? Yeah. They built the escape room on top of one of those, kind of, and it just shook around.
No, we didn't do that one with you. That was somebody else. That was your other best friend.
Oh, I know it was small. That was part of why we didn't do it with, like, a big group, because it was, like, a tight space. There was really... And it was, like, every time that the thing shook, it was, like... It was pretty intense. But... There's a lot of, like, pretty good companies out here, and I definitely find that they can be kind of fun. Definitely the stakes are a little bit different than in the movie we watched today, or for this episode.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like, like escape rooms, I was going to say panic rooms, but that's something entirely different. No, escape rooms were made probably to just piss me off. It's like, no. Like, I don't, no, I'm not a good problem solver in the first place. So you want to lock me in the room and then expect me to solve a problem to get the fuck out? No, I'm just gonna sit in a corner and I'm probably gonna pee and cry a little bit. I don't want
he will.
Let me out. Yo, fuck you, Raptor. A little bit more faith in me than that.
Come on, I've known you long enough.
But she's absolutely right. I'm a big scaredy cat. I'm like, let me out, please.
I think what this means is that when eventually, like, these two geographical locations come together, escape room needs to be on the agenda.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll see. I'll meet you. I'll meet everyone outside. You guys have fun. Fuck you. No.
No, you're coming with.
Is it?
No, I'm not.
I think if we all did an escape room, it would be like, like Enter the Thunderdome. Like 4 people enter, only one emerges. Like. I don't know. I think that's a test of a friendship that I don't know. A beginning friendship that I don't know if you need.
I don't know. I mean,
no, because I get really weird. It could be interesting, but then like you guys are gonna judge me because I'll just start shouting shit that like makes no sense. Just like whoever locked me in here, I'll suck your dick to get out, please. Oh God,
they'll be judging you. I'll call it a Tuesday.
The best part is they've gotten like really sophisticated with some of this stuff. So like they're watching you the whole time, and then they can talk to you, especially because a lot of these places you can ask for like up to 3 hints. Where it's like you're really stuck, and then you're like, "Can we get a hint?" And then all of a sudden, they'll talk to you.
This is how we get YouTube famous, because if they're gonna watch us and record us, everybody's gonna want to see a video of a fat guy shitting his pants. So, listen, that's fine.
Well, maybe we'll just pick a very benign theme to start with. I have heard that.
Well, wait a minute, I ain't no bitch. Pick a challenge. Like I'll try. I'll try my best.
There was one. I can't remember if it was in, like, when we were on vacation or whatever, but where they have, like, an actor that plays a zombie, and that the chain is getting longer the entire time that you're in the room.
That might...
I'm going to punch that zombie in the dick. Fuck that.
And so the idea is that, like, you start to lose space that you better go find, like, explore the stuff that you can reach while the chain is short, because as it gets longer, now you'll be out if you get touched by the zombie kind of thing. So... that I think is a little intense. We don't have to start there.
So if you get touched by a zombie, like, are you just like dead? Do they take you out of the room?
Sure.
And then like, what
promise
happens?
he can eat me. That's fine.
There you go.
I'll leave.
So I don't know. I haven't actually done that
Bill?
one because the idea of someone in a small space acting like a zombie that I have to continue to face, that really sketches me out. Like it doesn't scare me, but it's like, this is awkward. This is awkward for you. This is awkward for me. Could we just, like...
I'm gonna shiv the zombie. That's it.
It's not like you're going through, like, a haunted house where you are just seeing that person briefly. Like, you're stuck with that person for possibly up to an hour.
Oh, no.
And they have to act like a zombie the entire time.
It's weird for me. That's weird for me. So I don't know if I could could do that. But if we went with something just a little tamer than that, I think it might be an interesting challenge. So for today's episode, we actually watched the movie Saw from 2004. So if you haven't seen
escape room ever.
the movie Saw in a while, here's the quick description from IMDb. Two strangers who awaken in a room with no recollection of how they got there soon discover they're pawns in a deadly game perpetrated by a notorious serial killer. Based on our notes and where we go, I don't know if I find that completely accurate, but it's a jumping off point. So back in the day, it came out in October of 2004. Andrea and I were 25. Andrea, what do you remember about that time? Did you see it in the theater? Did you rent it? What do you remember about this movie?
I want to say I did not see this one in the theater. I think I saw it as like a rental, something like that, because I don't remember going to the theater. Now, I remember seeing the second one in the theater. I have very vivid memories of that. But I think this was like a rental, kind of one of those word of mouth, because I feel like it wasn't a big release when it came out. And then it was one of those kind of sleeper hits, like word of mouth and I think we probably just rented it one day and that was it.
How about you, Bill?
As much as I remember.
Well, my parents were really kind of sticklers on the scary movies, and when I was able to when I got my first job, one of the first things I did was start my own movie rental account so I could rent all the horror movies and not be judged. But I remember, I think the first one I rented was A Nightmare on Elm Street because I hadn't seen it in a while. But then the one I rented right after that was Saw. And I think my mother was going through my room for like laundry or whatever. Like I was 17, I was still living at home. And I think she saw it, like the VHS tape on my bedside stand, and she yelled at me. She's like, "If you keep renting things like this, I'm not going to let you do this anymore." And I'm like, I paid for this with my own money. Oh, God. No, it's I remember liking it a lot. And then, I mean, I won't spoil it now, but the ending made me lose my collective shit. So, but I remember like enjoying it so much that I was late returning it. I had to pay like a $7 late fee because I kept not wanting to give it back.
Nice. How about you, Raptor?
I think I saw that one in the theater when it came out. I know a bunch of like my aunt, my cousins, and all that used to go, just kind of get together, go. Actually, I kind of remember seeing that in the theater.
That's how I feel too. Like I definitely feel like I saw it in the theater, and I definitely like Bill's saying, like I remember being really impacted by the ending and feeling like that. It was like I totally remembered that piece of it, and I feel like I remember seeing it in a theater. But I also feel like I have never revisited it since. Not without it being maybe like I saw a clip of it here and there on the TV during Halloween, or somebody threw it in, and it's like, well, I've seen it, I don't really need to pay attention because I already know what happens, kind of thing. So this is my first time really re-watching it in detail, probably since the first time I saw it.
I remember like watching it at like other people's houses, but
and I feel like
I don't actually remember actually like putting it in and like sitting down and watching it until
I feel like too. I definitely remembered that this one is a pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's pretty simple. Like, it's a simple amount of characters. Like, I knew it was going to be the setup of, like, the two guys in the room. But then if you start to ask me about the sequels, they all just sort of...
Well, there's where it gets difficult because the first movie in itself shot in 18 days. It's the entirety of the first movie is a great one-off horror movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, it's not really technically a horror movie. It's kind of more like Silence of the Lambs, suspenseful.
Yeah.
But
psychological thriller kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the sequels, I've seen all the sequels.
Torture porn.
I have.
Not
I have.
all of them.
You know what? When we conclude this, I have notes on that specific subject. But.
I feel like it went into, now it was just trying to keep one-upping itself on making the audience super uncomfortable. Like, how gross can we get just to make everybody so super uncomfortable? And it lost some of the the suspensefulness of it, because you're really just watching for like how gross is the kill going to be, how brutal is the puzzle going to, you know what I mean? Like, and it I felt like it was just like they all started to feel the same to me in that way.
I think also it might have been I mean, the main guy who wrote it was the star of it, which I thought was really cool. But I think it's any studio system horror movies, along with Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. It's just the first one is so good.
Yeah.
Well, let's try and milk this tit for every ounce that we can. And I mean, yeah. So
yeah. So I definitely liked coming back to it. However, I definitely also felt that knowing the like twist at the ending definitely tainted my view of watching it this time, for sure.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and agree, but it's still like, the job of a movie is to suspend your disbelief. And, I think the entirety of the story, I mean, at moments I would forget what the ending was going to be like. And then, like, when it happens, I'll be like, oh, shit! I knew this was going to happen. Fuck.
Yeah, I was like, kind of like, when's going to be the reveal that I know is coming? But it's like, I didn't know, I couldn't remember how it plays out, and like, I couldn't remember who, like, I know somebody survives, but I don't know who survives. So it had been long enough that for that, it still really worked watching it this time, because I couldn't totally remember the story. So let's just get into it.
There's a lot of this movie that I must have completely blocked out of my memory, because it's like, I thought it was like, oh, it's all in this room. And then I was like, what's all this superfluous crap that's going on? Like, I was like, what, we're leaving the room? Like, I have specific memories, but it was all the stuff like in this room.
Same.
And that was about it.
I was like that too. So the opening scene, we start out in the gross, dirty bathtub. And
that looks like a crackhead's paradise in there.
Now I'm going to have some words here.
Hit me.
So this young guy wakes up in a gross, dirty bathtub. So first of all, that's got to be something to wake up submerged and wet and everything.
I like how nonchalant you were. Like that's got to be something.
That's got to be something. But I'm going to tell you right now, the stuff of my nightmares is how dirty that fucking bathroom is.
Right.
Shit.
I'm not okay.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking...
No, I am not okay. I have written in my notes, my nightmare, in capital letters, is being in a space that is this dirty. Like, shit smeared, I don't know what's happening. It looks like people have drawn in with their own feces. I am not okay in this room.
Oh man, you said shit smeared, and I fucking triggered a fucking experience I had at work this week.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no!
Oh, you want to hear it? No, it's coming. So for those 14 going on 40 listeners that don't know, so Raptor and I work retail, and so I work at Walmart. It's not a secret. And so I had to go in and to the bathroom and do my business, all right? So there's two sets of bathrooms, one in the front, one in the back. So in the front, the men's bathroom has 2 urinals, 2 stalls. So the back stall was taken up, so I had my sit down in the front stall, and I'm doing my business, and I'm minding my business, and I'm playing Candy Crush, and I'm fucking killing it. So so then I hear the shuffles of an old dude. And I'm like, no, god damn it, no. Like, because the old dudes, they get indignant when the stalls are taken up.
Oh.
So here he comes, and he's got the walking toots. So with every shuffle, it's like shuffle, shuffle.
Oh,
and it's just,
no.
I'm like, fire, like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
That's uncalled for.
But like, I'm like mid push, so I can't go anywhere. So here he comes, and he proceeds to try and open the back door, and somebody's in that back stall, and he's shaking it. Come on, I gotta go. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then he starts shaking my door, and I will not have that. This is my place of peace. I'm playing Candy Crush, like I said, fucking killing it. So he starts shaking it. Oh, I gotta go. And I'm like, sir, there is a set of restrooms at the back of the store. There is no need for this. Well, I gotta go real hard. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you 4?
Oh my god, seriously?
I gotta go. So wait. So then he stands outside and waits. All right, and I gotta go. After about the 4th time he said it, the guy in the back stall gets out, and then he starts arguing with that guy. You took too fucking long. What the fuck? So Then he goes in and proceeds to explode all over the bathroom.
Oh.
All right. He shit on the floor. He shit on the floor. And here's the thing. Wait, I'm triggering Melissa. I see it. So it wasn't like y'all ever see Daddy Daycare?
I have not.
Okay. So
No.
okay, Raptor. You remember that scene where that kid misses and shits everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay. I assumed it was like that because I heard shit hitting the floor. Now, I'll come back to that.
I happened upon a scene like this. I, too, have done lots
Yes.
of time in retail. And also I work in a high school with public bathrooms. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. No, so you know. Okay. So I assume, like, I heard shit hitting the floor, like, plops. Yeah, gross. So, like, I assumed, like, he had diarrhea. Okay? I'll get back to that. But I'll get back to that. So, he's on the toilet, and he's voiding his bowels. And, like, after every push, he would start talking shit about the store. Oh, this fucking place. Oh, I hate it. Plop, plop, plop. This fucking store. And finally, I was like, yo, shut the fuck up.
No one needs a narrative.
Exactly.
Stop that.
Exactly. So afterwards, I'm like, this is my final moment. This is it. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. You got what you wanted. And he was like, you can't talk to me like that. Meet me outside these stalls. And I'm like, bet money. So I pinched it off and wiped and waited for him outside of the stalls, and he never showed. So
What do you mean he never showed? Where did he go?
he never came out. He never came out of the stall. So Raptor's dying. So
He flushed himself. He hit the...
So now, as it happens, it was one of those days where I was having an upset stomach, so I had to go back about 20 minutes later and go do it again. So I peeked in the stall, and like I said, it sounded like he had like sprayed everywhere. No, logs. Like he shit in his hand and fucking threw it. Logs. Like 6 feet away from the toilet. Like he pooed in his hand and delivered it to the end of the stall.
Stop.
Like, this is for you. No, I will not stop. This is what we fucking do with. And you know, because you've worked retail.
So
Andrea's going to have a stroke. Andrea's going to have a stroke.
Yeah. No, and then you wonder, okay, what do their homes look like? Do they just do this when they go out and then...
Yes, because they can't be bothered to fuck up their own bathroom, so they got to come to the Walmart, the home of the rednecks, and shit everywhere.
Whew.
Oh, God, that's awful. No one needs to deal with that, ever.
My husband, when he
should make them clean it up themselves. Like, go to, like, get him by the scruff, take him back and give him, like, a rag and some cleaning solution. Be like, you made the mess, you clean it up.
Yeah, sir, you left something here. Come on back.
I believe you forgot your bag.
Yeah.
Return.
My husband
we don't accept
was
these
in
returns.
retail before, like before he had transferred to NIU. So he was at a community college and he was working retail, and they had someone that they identified solely as the Unishitter, like a play off of the Unabomber, like it was the
Yo, that made me laugh so
Unishitter,
hard, I'm
because
sweating.
literally when they would see this person come in, it was the immediately almost like a nose goes, like who is going in after him because we know what's happening.
Yeah.
Because it is destroyed in there. And like they had no good explanation, like why is this person doing this and why does he come here to do it?
I will say,
didn't we have one of those years ago though?
Yeah, we had a serial shitter.
This took a turn for the worse.
It kind of did.
Yes.
Yo, listen, if anybody listening to this show wants to listen to Inside You with Raptor, and you wanna move past the scat talk, I would fast forward about 30 minutes of each show. Just put it out there. I'll put it out there. No, we have people that fucking shit their pants and then shake it out of their leg, their pant leg into electronics, like on the floor.
For the love of all things. Do not put that where I'm not at least being a little bit mentally prepared for it.
You know, we're not even 2 minutes into the movie, and this is what's going on.
It's true.
Listen, I said, when we were planning this second crossover, I said, because of the story I told on the first one, and you were like, oh, we're going to lose it. I said to you, and I quote, I have stories. And then Raptor said in response, yes, he has stories. So she was my Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy, he has stories. So...
Well, listen, I would love to know...
Don't trigger me.
What story they had in their mind when they created this den of hell that is this disgusting bathroom. It is... it was like watching it on my TV. I was like, I am going to try hard. And I'm just going to get into this. It's going to be okay. Like, because
Yeah,
I know
punchline? Not okay.
No, I know. And then I was like,
And the fact that they're barefoot.
okay,
Yeah,
I have that in my notes
it's
too. They are barefoot, and that's
I have that in my
not
notes.
okay.
I have in my notes hashtag staph infection.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot
Yeah.
about hookworm in my house because my husband hates it that my daughter has taken to running outside with no shoes on. Like that she
Same.
all of a sudden like is decided that she's just not doing civilization. She's going to run outside with no shoes on all the time. And we just solved, because she had swimming lessons forever, and we just solved a wart situation on the bottom of her foot that took a zillion years and compound W Band-Aids and all that. And now she's running. So now he tries to scare her with this. You're going to get hookworm. So what does she say to Mom? Mom, can you Google what a hookworm looks like?
Nope, don't do that.
Well, I did it.
Oh, shame on you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's something to apologize about. It really is. It's just... But she's been doing much better with putting her shoes on since that.
Like the shit out of her.
Legit, I was sitting on my patio and I asked her if she could top off my coffee, and she stood in the doorway and was like, "Can you bring it here, Mom? I don't have any shoes on." And I was like, yeah. Yes. Okay.
Way to go.
All right. That might have been one little terrifying Google search that was worth it. So also when the lights come on in this room and this kid discovers someone's with him, it's Carrie Ewell's. I was like, Princess Bride! I will never not think of that.
Yeah.
But this was so almost like such a weird way to see him. Like
It's
the
definitely
role.
against type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like he is so known for that particular role that anytime I see him in something else, it's really hard. I remember seeing him, he was in that Jim Carrey movie, wasn't it Yes Man?
Mm-hmm.
Liar, liar.
He's in one of them.
Oh, yeah, Liar. Was that it?
Yeah.
I'm
And he was a total square. He was
One
a
of
total
them.
white boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so it's really, and what has he been up to lately? Anybody know? Like, I feel like
I had it written down. Hold on.
Princess Bride is one of my favorite movies of all time, but
he has done some TV. So, like, he was in Stranger Things, and he was in the Marvelous Miss Maisel. So he's done some of that, and then it looks like on IMDb, like there's things that are being announced and filming and pre-production, so he's still acting.
He was in Kiss the Girls.
Yeah. And I think was he
Yeah.
also in Along Came a Spider, maybe?
I don't know.
Or I could be making that up. But yeah,
I haven't seen those movies in a long time.
But he will forever be the Dread Pirate
Roberts.
For sure.
Yeah, when they flick the lights on and there he is, I'm like, the Dread Pirate Roberts. And
I know. And then when he introduces himself as, "My name is Lawrence, and I'm a doctor," and I was like, "Lawrence, okay, all right."
yeah. I was like, can't you just
Hey,
say
Larry.
Larry
Yeah.
and be white?
And this is where I have in all capital letters, "They are both barefoot."
yeah.
Yeah.
I do love that the kid, so he reveals that his name is Adam, and that his first thing is to immediately assume his organs have been harvested.
Which I thought was fucking hilarious.
I was like,
Yeah.
that is such a 20-something thing to think. Like, remember that urban legend of like you're gonna wake up
I
in a
would have
bathtub?
thought the same thing though.
I mean,
Yeah.
waking up in a bathtub full of water,
Bathtub.
without
Yeah.
question. Without question, I think that was absolutely reasonable. So then Dr. Lawrence notices the clock, which will come into play, and they decide to check their pockets. There's also a dead body in the room that's sitting in a pool of blood. There's a gun. There's a tape recorder. These two decide that they don't know each other at this point, and they check their pockets. Adam has a little tape that says "Play Me," and Lawrence also has a tape, but he has a bullet and a key. Now, what were your guys' thoughts when when I saw those little tapes and that little tape recorder? I was like, I wonder how people who would be seeing this for the first time now would look at that. Like, that technology is like...
They're like, what is that little tiny thing?
Yeah.
Like this tiny little audio cassette, and then...
And I remember thinking those were so cool. Like, where, like, you could have your little mini tape recorder, and you could have little mini tapes. Like, I don't know, anything mini was kind of cool, but Yeah, that would be like picking up, like, it says play me. How do I play this? Like,
yeah, I
there's
remember
no button
those.
on it.
I had one for about a week in high school. I went through a goth phase. It was only about a week because I'm too fat to be a goth. And yeah, I used to record like like my problems on a little record player, like a little bitch, like a little. Yeah, fuck you,
Raptor.
Raptor. All right.
Emo.
It was. I told you it
Yeah.
was a week long, and then I snapped out of it because I got a girlfriend. So I snapped out of it.
Okay. All right.
Yo, I don't fucking enjoy your judgment, Melissa.
I am just saying, like, that's something.
She's just trying to clarify goth versus emo. Emo is much more the type that would record their feelings on a tape rather than a goth.
Yeah, but I was also listening to like deathcore metal and fucking crying a lot, and I remember contemplating putting on eyeshadow.
It's still emo.
I know.
And I'm the gay one?
Yo. Very respectable straight men wear eyeshadow and eyeliner. Johnny Depp.
True that.
Yes.
That is accurate.
Pete Wentz.
That's the only one I could think of. Keith Richards. I think.
I don't know if that would be respectable, but I mean, I think he's just like he is just marinated in enough alcohol that he is just preserved for life. So
sort of mummified.
True. However,
Yes,
good thing I didn't go through with it. I didn't go through with it.
He's
So
pickled.
because I'm pretty sure my sister Kate found it in my room and she was like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing with this?" I was like, "I want to be pretty. I want to be pretty, please." So.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't think that
We could make
of
you
all
pretty.
the things,
I mean,
that is absolutely fine.
Shut up. This is the part of the podcast we like to call Bill Overshares.
Well, I'm just trying to envision, though, like when you're recording the feelings into the little recorder, and then is the intent that you will listen to them later or someone else will find them?
See, that I didn't know. I think I was doing it because I thought that's what I was supposed to do as an emo/goth. But, like, if you could picture me doing it, like, I'm in skin-tight black clothes, and I'm 400 pounds. So now I look like a...
that's a visual.
No, now I look like a giant Swiss roll fucking talking into a tape recorder.
What was your haircut like?
I had very thick black Irish hair, and it was starting to thin right around where a widow's peak would go, and that was freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And I used to put like a half a bottle of product in it a day, and I would put it in, slick it back, and with a comb, and then I would just fuck it up with my fingers to make it like, ooh, I got sexy bedhead. Punchline, it was fucking just greasy from all the hair gel.
For those of you that don't know this, Bill is currently totally smooth, bald, so trying to...
Thank you, it wasn't me this time!
Him trying to explain this hairdo, because it's a hairdo at this point. When you're talking about that much product and that much fuss, it's a hairdo.
He's so red right now.
Listen. First of all,
look, I asked. And
Monster coffee drinks do not feel good coming out the nose. Secondly, you have to put that into context, because if you say Bill's totally smooth, it's like I shave my entire body. And listen, nobody wants that ever.
Smooth
ever.
Head. It's very evenly shaped. I always, I much admire the evenly shaped.
At least you got a good shaped head, man.
Yeah.
What's that?
You have a good shaped
head.
At
least you got a good shaped head.
I do. I do have the head for it, which, like... Oh, you guys should have seen the first time I shaved it. I had Sophie as my favorite fave. I used 3 packs of disposable razors because I didn't have the presence of mind to actually cut it first.
Oh, you just went right for it.
Right for it. And at one point, I got the razor stuck in my hair.
Yeah, you did.
So it was just hanging there. And Sophie's looking at me like, what the fuck, Dad?
There's only so much that tiny little blade can do.
My head was raw.
I believe it.
Raw and bleeding, and I'm like, no.
Oh.
Thank God it's got so much easier.
Yeah. Well,
I did try to nair it.
I never...
I used nair once. That was a mistake.
Oh my God! Burn your scalp.
Yep, sure did.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Sure did.
I've always said I can't ever shave my head because apparently I have a birthmark at the top, like right at the top. So, like, people will be standing behind me. Like, my mom would be standing by. Oh, you have a birthmark. Or Dave would be standing behind me. You have a birthmark. I was like, well, great. Now I can never shave my head.
Oh, because you wanted to?
Well, I've gotten pretty close. I mean, my hair has gotten pretty short.
Well, I feel like my head's lumpy. Like if I feel it under my
Yeah,
head.
that's what I feel too. Like I don't know if I have a good bald head.
I feel like there's
Y'all
something
should do
lumpy.
it.
I don't
Y'all
know.
should do it. Just give yourselves the full Sinead O'Connor, and then rip up a picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live.
Oh shit! I remember that episode.
I'll put that on my to-do list. Yeah.
Listen, I'm all for coming together like this and cooperating on an episode, but I didn't sign up for that shit. Okay?
No.
Yo, I didn't sign up for being called smooth because you know what? That's a bad. Can you imagine my fucking 270-pound smooth fat ass just sliding around my house? No.
Oh well, I was just saying that your head looks very smooth.
I'm sweating actually quite profusely.
Well, then you
Your
just
studio.
Those studio lights are
accentuated
glistening.
the points.
Glistening.
See? Smooth.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say smooth. The studio lights are fucking hot.
True.
Okay, so I have a question. So he gets the tape, right? And it says play me, and he is like trying to get the tape recorder because the dead guy is holding a tape recorder, right?
Yes.
And then he's like, okay, look around. Lawrence is like, look around for something to put it on. And he grabs the plug, which I'm like, okay, great. But, like, he doesn't attach it. It's like all of a sudden he just, like, he puts it on his shirt and all of a sudden it's attached. I'm like,
yeah, he just kind of, it's a little, like, just magically works.
A little murky.
As his little fishing
line.
line.
I'm like, I don't know how that would work. Yes.
I am glad we didn't spend too much time on it because we needed to get what's on these tapes? I want to hear it. Let's get the ball rolling. So I did like that.
But as a person who's watching it a little bit more closely the second time, I'm like, that was awfully convenient that he just whipped his shirt and...
Because it would be just dead. The film would be dead if there was 10 minutes of him trying to remember how to tie a sailor knot.
So they
How does this work again?
Inaccurate.
So
Lawrence, you're a surgeon. You do it.
Right. They finally get to listen to the Adam's tape, and that has like a cryptic clue about him being some kind of voyeur. And I thought this was very logical. He has the doctor throw his tape because he's like, well, I'm not going to throw the tape recorder and then it breaks, so you throw me your tape. And this is where...
Can we take a pause for the voice on the tape?
Oh, yeah.
It was obviously a voice changer.
Yes.
But I didn't find it that terrifying.
I was wondering if that was like more because I had seen it in the theater the first time, or I didn't know what to expect. I guess I sort of remembered it being scarier than it actually is. I agree. It's not very...
Yeah.
No, because I'm like, it would be terrifying? A child's voice.
True. That would be very terrifying.
Yes.
And I also feel
like... Or that guy
like,
from Scream, man.
I know. I was going to say, the guy from Scream who has that really great, like... It's the inflection on top of the voice changer that is...
Right.
Really good. But, I did think that the voice... it didn't take me out of it, but I didn't think it was, like, super terrifying. But then we do get this... Now we finally get the whole, you're going to have to kill Adam by 6 p.m. is what's on the doctor's tape. And it's like, oh, well, thanks a lot.
Oh, no pressure.
And then he says some bullshit about X marks the spot and, like, basically threatens the doctor's family. And then I wrote my notes, and the escape room is born. Yeah. That's basically what we've got going on here. I thought, though, that this was super interesting that when I was reading, like, the trivia and the background on the movie, that the director was saying that he was, like, challenging himself to create a movie that would take place all in one room. And as we kind of already said, there is going to be times when we're not in the room. But that is a very kind of clever premise. Like, I don't ever remember seeing anything like this before that.
No, it's very simple. It's like, all right, two guys wake up in a room, chained to a wall. They don't know how they got there, and there's a dead body in the middle. You got me.
Right.
Just on that synopsis alone.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, Jesus, like, that's everybody's nightmare.
Really interesting now. So this is going to, remember, my daughter is 7. And so I get sometimes caught up in whatever cartoon she has found. And I can't remember what it's on. It might be on Netflix. There's one called The Hollow. I don't know if you've heard of this. But it starts...
Raptor?
Almost... it's new. Yeah, it's newer. But it starts almost exactly like Saw. And I was like, there's not a dead body.
Wait a minute.
But there's 3 kids are locked in a room full of like white walls and don't know how they got there. They can't remember their own names, and there's just a typewriter in the middle of the room. And I was like, it's fucking Saw.
No.
It's Saw. It's Saw. Should you be watching this? And I was like, oh my God. But it actually ends up being a very clever cartoon, and it's a lot of little puzzles and things like that. And it never quite takes that, turn for the worst of psychological thriller.
I would hope not.
But I was like, if this isn't a nod to Saw, I don't know what is, because it was literally 3 kids locked in a room. Now these guys couldn't remember their own names, couldn't remember the last thing they did.
It's like The Cube.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies.
Crazy.
The Cube.
The Cube? What is that?
Oh my God.
Don't give me those fucking judgmental looks.
It's
no.
Watch.
No. Homework.
Yeah.
It's add that to the list.
I don't have time for all this homework.
It's actually a Canadian, isn't it? A Canadian film?
I think so.
It is a very unique. It basically, these people wake up in these rooms, and they're like, it's rooms upon rooms, and they figure out it's a big cube, and they're trying to figure out their way out. It's really good. And they've made a couple sequels, like Cube 2 and Hypercube and whatever. It gets a little, convoluted
Cube in
and
space,
crazy after that. Yeah,
like
pretty
Leprechaun.
much. But the first one is actually very clever and cool, and I think the cast is like 5 people. It's really small, and but it's a pretty good movie.
Well,
It's one of those that I will watch occasionally, but that kind of reminds me of this. Like it's all contained. That whole idea of being alone somewhere and not knowing how you got there is just terrifying. It's awful.
No.
I mean, and if it's this dirty bathroom, I'm already upset. I'm really upset. Because we're going to go there, because now Dr. Lawrence hears, follow your heart. And where is there a heart drawn in feces? On the toilet that's full of God knows what, that our boy Adam is going to stick his hand into.
I mean.
Okay,
it's full of poo.
I'm sorry, but that would, if I saw a heart on the tank, and I was watching this with Dave, and we're in bed, and I was like, I would not go for the gross-ass toilet bowl water. I would open the tank.
Lord Jesus, no.
Well, now hold on. Now hold on. Because if you got to go digging in the toilet, you're going to question yourself if you open the bowl and there's a bowl full of fucking Walmart customer poo water. Then you're going to fight yourself to get to fucking stick your hand in there. So, I mean, it makes sense.
No, Dave made a good point. He's like, what he should have done if he was going to go for the toilet bowl water, he should have taken the top off the tank,
broke a piece off,
and to smash the damn the bowl and done that. And I was like, that would have been smart. But my first idea would have been to just lift up the fucking tank. Lid off the tank and look at it.
You don't know this guy's background. Maybe he likes poo play. Don't judge him.
Listen.
Dude.
Listen. Hi, I'm Bill. I make things uncomfortable.
Well, that's
if really I have to say it again, I'm logging off.
I'm super uncomfortable with this poop scene, okay?
If I have to say it one more time, I'm leaving the chat.
Listen. I'm also going to point out that once he does look in the tank and he finds the black garbage bag that has 2 saws in it, and there's never an effort to rinse the hand or could we?
Well, it's self-implied that there was water in the tank, and the tank rinsed his hand off because there was no poo.
Yeah,
he has a
point.
Wow,
Melissa looks super pissed.
That poo is there.
She needed soap and like a sink so that she could wash her hands, and then that would have been
Okay.
Okay.
It's there.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not okay.
Okay.
So already I am super uncomfortable. So after all of this with the 2 saws, Dr. Lawrence decides to tell us he thinks he knows who did this. Because he was a suspect with this crazy person, and it's going to end up going to a cutscene. But in my side notes for this, I actually wrote, is Dr. Lawrence Gordon here, is he wearing blush? Because it evolves later in the movie that he's got like a mark on his face, but like...
I believe we have a question from the class.
Did you think
so from the moment he wakes up, his makeup is fucking terrible.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
it is like, he looks like he has been left out for a month in the sun and he's been blanched. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, Adam doesn't look like that. Like, Adam doesn't look like that. He looks normal. But for some reason, for his character, for Lawrence's character, they immediately make him look like he is drained of all blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it only gets worse from there.
Yeah.
Like, they needed to fire that fucking makeup artist on the here.
I think that was also what was
terrible.
super jarring about going from, like, my memories of, like, Princess Bride, of this guy that has bone structure in his face. And then what happened to you? Like, when we see him in
I understand the budget was only $1 million, but you can't take $10 and do a proper makeup job?
Something. It was literally like 2 little dots of blush right here.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's very strange of a choice, but okay.
And he was, like, white.
Yes.
Like
lips and everything.
His lips were white.
Everything's white.
Everything was white. It was very distracting. And I actually remember when the first time I watched this thinking the same thing. Like, why does he look like such shit? Like, he's supposed to have just woken up in this.
Like, he at least didn't wake up in the bathtub full of water, you know?
Right. Like, I don't understand. Like, I could see if they've been in there for a few days, they're hungry, whatever, they're starting to look a little shitty. But, like, you just woke up a couple hours ago. Like, you didn't look like this in the scenes. Like,
are you anemic? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly. Like, you have some other issues going on? Cancer? I don't know.
But those 2 dots of blush were really bothering me so much that I wrote it down. So we have this cut scene where they go to a crime scene, is what we see, and there's a guy named Paul hanging from some razor wires, is what I've got written down. So
that was gruesome.
It is, and there's a tape, and so the cops are listening to the tape. There's these razor wires. He had 2 hours to escape. On the tape, it kind of tells us that there are, so basically we're getting this vibe that whoever makes these tapes and whoever the victims are, there's something in their lives that the weirdo that's trapping them...
They're not appreciating.
Yeah, that they're not appreciating life. So I put... I have my side note of, when they show him, when I say him, the victim, Paul, trying to get through the razor wires, and he's moving, like, super fast, I don't know that that's how I would tackle that problem.
No.
Definitely not.
Let me move as fast as I can through all of these miniature blades cutting me. Like, how about we just kind of pick an opening out, see if I can get an arm through, kind of duck my head. I mean, I know he only had 2 hours.
No, but he had 2 hours, and Dave goes, he couldn't have figured that out in 2 hours? Like,
here, truth be told, at this point, he hadn't seen the movie Saw, so he didn't know what he was in.
It's like, can't you bend the space between the razors and make yourself like a portal to just sashay through? Like,
I just was like the panicky
stop.
movements. I'm like, ooh, okay, well, that's unfortunate. So they also point out, like, that wasn't ever going to work out for you going at it that fast. No. It just wasn't. So they also noticed that there's a jigsaw piece cut out of his skin. And this is where they let the audience know about this jigsaw murderer. That he gets the victims to kill themselves. So
I gotta say, I hate movies that have serial killers with calling cards. That's I think it's weak. Like, what the for real? But, like, I guess to get his name, it's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, the trial itself of going through all the razor wire or whatever, I mean, you could be like, all right, well, it's kind of like a jigsaw. You got to do it carefully and stuff like that. They could have done that, but I don't know. I thought it was cheap.
Well, and I think they were kind of almost trying to differentiate themselves from something like a 7.
That
like
actually, that was a thing. They got compared to 7, which I guess. I don't see it.
I mean, it's all about you're not appreciating the life that you have and this and that. But, like, I don't understand. So he gets his name Jigsaw, but as far as we know, this is the only victim that had a jigsaw taken out of them.
Right,
like
it doesn't come up
jigsaw
again in the
piece.
movie.
No, it doesn't come up at all.
Yeah, and it's like they use it. And then what I think is interesting is when I was reading the notes on this is that, when they put the movie together, kind of like what Bill was talking about at the beginning, the director put together this quick, like, short from the script that they wrote, and like then somebody, like in a studio went ahead and picked up and said, okay, we're going to let you make your movie. And it was originally supposed to go to like a DVD release, and it just had a positive response at, like Sundance or whatever. So they said, okay, we're going to put it in the theaters. And then the weekend that it opened, they said, oh, we're doing a sequel. So I'm like, with this Jigsaw piece, was there always the intention that there would be all of these continuing movies? It didn't seem like that.
I don't think so.
So, like,
I don't think so. Has anyone ever... Question for the three of you. Has anyone ever seen the Saw short film that they did to get the movie sold?
No.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, maybe I'll go back and watch that.
Basically, it's a combination of the entire movie snacked into like 15 minutes, and the writer of the movie, the guy who plays Adam, basically plays...
Wait, he's the writer? What? Huh?
What's that?
The writer of the movie is Adam?
Yeah, his name is Lee Wanell. He's a horror writer for movies.
Oh.
Yeah. He
I
wrote...
had no idea.
Sorry,
I didn't read any of the IMDb, so I was like...
Yeah, so, I mean... And he just wrote the new Invisible Man that came out, which I hear is fucking terrifying. He wrote that. And then the director went on to direct fucking Aquaman, which made over $1 billion. So, talent.
Wow.
Yeah, the director is James Wan.
Yeah, I think he directed like Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which no one should ever watch ever. And then...
he directed The Nun, too.
Yeah, no one should ever watch that either.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is coming out. He's working on that.
I was going to say the original...
Raptor!
Word.
Mortal
Raptor, mount
Kombat
up.
2021. It's in pro.
Pack your shit, we gotta go.
Oh, well, actually, he's a producer on that one.
Don't care, fine by me.
Yeah, it looks like he's done, like, in addition to Saw, he did Annabelle as a producer. What else is a director, though? Let's see.
But the short film is just, it's basically, so Lee Wanell, the guy who played Adam, he plays kind of the I know we haven't gotten to her yet, so spoilers. But he plays the Amanda character, and it's just it's a police interrogation of what happened, and he was the one in the
big trap thing.
Mess.
Yeah.
The short film is fucking terrifying.
Well, yeah, and I guess they were saying that in this, they did scale a lot of things back to get an R rating from it being like an NC-17 possibility.
Oh, you can tell. There are some cuts in there where I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, which is
editing's not very good, but
pretty brutal.
That's just me. Yeah.
And so, like, at this cutscene too, then they also show the cops where there's another dude that was burned up, like a corpse or whatever, and his tape talked about, like, he's got poison in him, there's an antidote in the safe, and there's a candle, and then what was it, like, glass on the floor?
Broken glass.
Was it okay, because I was like, it sounds like that's what he's stepping on, and that he was all coated in a flammable substance, and that guy didn't make it either. But they said that the Jigsaw killer always watches. And so they show, like, this hole in the wall and a pen light that they're saying, he went through. And so this is how it ties back to Dr. Lawrence, right? Because it ends up being his pen light. And so the police bring him in for questioning. Now, I was not totally prepared or remembered at all that Danny Glover was in this.
Yo, let's fucking talk about this for
Could
1
we
second.
just?
Yeah.
I have seen Danny Glover in 3 things. Lethal Weapon series.
Yeah.
All right. Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Raptor, you fucking know.
Yep.
When we did our series on the 90s on our show, I think I sucked Angels in the Outfield's dick for a good 15 minutes.
Yeah, you did.
I love that movie. And then I saw him in this. No. I think he sucks in this movie really bad.
Oh, thank you. I was like,
Yeah.
what's
Cheers.
going on? Like, you're
Not
really
good.
phoning it in, Danny Glover.
Oh, he phoned that shit in. Because I guarantee you half the budget went to his salary.
Well, and it said in the trivia that all of his scenes were done in 2 days. Now, I know it was only 18 days for this movie, but
No.
2 days, and he phoned that shit in. It was...
Yeah.
There were times when I was like, wow. I mean, this is like on your resume now, dude. Like, it's right here. It doesn't go away. There it is.
No. I mean, I can't say this for sure, but what has Danny Glover done since this movie?
I don't know, man. Well, the funny thing is in my notes, I just keep calling him Danny Glover because it takes forever before they actually say his name is like detective or something.
I'm like, oh, Danny.
I just keep calling him Danny Glover.
Danny. All over my notes.
Yeah, and I think eventually I shortened it down to Danny.
Oh no, Danny.
Same.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it is in my notes. He was not good in this movie.
No.
His partner was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, he was really good.
I liked him a lot.
Danny Glover.
What else is that guy in? Because was he in Lost? Was that guy in Lost? What was he in? He was in some sort of
the Detective
show. Yeah,
he was in. I remember seeing him in Red Dragon, the third Hannibal Lecter movie. He played a forensics. I think he played like something for the cops.
He was in Lost.
I want to. Was he what?
So that's 2 Lost alumni for this movie.
That's 2 Lost alumni. Yeah. Okay.
And then I think he was in the only thing other I know him in he played a superhero in the X-Men movies, and his power was like he had porcupine things that come out of his skin. That was it.
That's right.
Yeah, those
were the X-Men movies that I didn't really like. So
yeah, so that's the only thing I know him from. But I was like, well done, way to save Danny Glover's ass.
Yeah. I liked him a lot, but I was struggling with Danny Glover. And so, like, we get to see then Dr. Gordon at the hospital with a bunch of med students, and there's a patient with cancer in the room. And while he's trying to explain whatever to these med students, there's an orderly that interrupts his talk and says, well, his name's John, like he's a real person kind of thing.
My man, Michael Emerson, showing up.
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's great.
Now, I will say, I did not watch Lost. I know nothing about that show.
Same.
But I know that Michael Emerson voiced the Joker in a movie, so I'm down with that. That's not really all I know about him.
Was really kind of, I was struck also by the fact that, like, with Danny Glover and then Michael Emerson and then, the girl, Monica Potter, who ends up being in there, and then Carrie Ewells and everything. Like, I was like, 2004, I'm trying to place in my brain, like, is this at the beginning of some of their careers? Or, like, how did they get some of these people to be in here? Like, I'm trying to think about the placement of where Saw fit in, like, where these people ended up, like, maybe later on. Because I was like, that's kind of a few big names for what was essentially a low-budget movie.
I think Monica Potter had just gotten done with Patch Adams, which
like, she's
I fucking love that movie.
Super, like, recognizable and, like, has done so much. I just thought that was interesting.
I think Danny Glover was probably doing construction in his garage when they sent him the script, because what the hell else was he doing?
I feel like, I don't know. But I love it when the cops come in and they want to question Dr. Gordon, and he is like, they're like, well, we want to bring you down to the station to talk to you. And he starts giving all these lame-ass excuses, and the one that I wrote down is, my wife has the car today. I can't go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, even as a white man, did you think that was going to work? Like, they want to talk to you at the police station. You're going in, like, the squad car.
Oh, my wife has the car. Yeah.
My wife has the car.
Well, no. Okay, can we talk about in the last scene when they're all standing in John's
patient room or whatever?
Yeah. The intern or resident or whatever.
Yo, she was thirsty. Yo, she wanted that D. She was thirsty.
Well, then that was on purpose. We find out later.
Yes, it was on purpose. But I'm trying to put my mind into it. If I was an Asian lady in my 30s, and and I'm looking at Carrie Ewells, I'm like, for real? Like, I want to fuck this guy? Like, I bet you he's wearing a toupee. He's got hair like Donald Trump. I'm not fucking this guy.
I don't know, man. This is not his finest shining hour, I'll tell you that. He's got the bad makeup and the sickly pallor, and it's just, the whole thing is not a good situation. And he can't even use, like, his cute British accent, so. Turns out it's his pen light. So, and he says, for his alibi, he was visiting someone that's not a patient after we had seen the girl. We put We put 2 and 2 together on that one, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I thought it was really weird that they then say, well, we'd like you to listen to this other victim. Like, it was a weird thing to pull this, like, okay, yeah, we buy your alibi and we haven't even checked it out yet, but we'd like you to listen in on the case. Like,
Yeah.
I did think that was kind of a strange plot hole.
Well, no, didn't he say that his alibi checked out?
Yeah.
I guess so,
Like,
yeah.
his alibi checked out. The only competent cop on the force comes in. Tells him his
only
alibi
competent
checked out.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Glover, his litany of fuck-ups
And then
isn't
Danny
over.
Glover's like, no, I'm going to make him sit here and listen to this awful story of this other lady who escaped, the serial killer.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think that he did it, even
Yeah.
though his alibi checks out.
Yeah. So he's got this Amanda girl, and there's the cutscene with her in the weird head contraption, which is, they described
Creepy.
it as a bear trap in reverse, that instead of closing, it opens and it's attached to her mouth.
Which yeah, because in the videotape, in the flashback, he's like, "Let me demonstrate how that'll happen," and then it snaps open, and I'm like, "Oh, motherfucker, that looks like it would hurt something."
Yeah,
awful.
and I will say, I'm trying to think, where did, because I know we had brought this up before in I think just another call that we had, but the movie Hostel, where did that fall with this movie? After or before it? Does anybody know?
Let's see. Let's go.
I think they were kind of right around the same time, but...
Because I want to say this was like sort of...
I want to
Hostel
say
was
it
a
was
year
probably
after. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So
Because I think this sparked a lot of that kind of movie. Now, I remember watching Hostel and I appreciated the movie, but it was very uncomfortable to watch. It was...
Yeah. I agree. I feel like this, and the reason why I asked that question before I made that statement was sort of like, did Saw come first? Because when did this happen that I feel like I was really struck by all of a sudden these weird kills. You know, like I've seen slasher flicks and but like this was exceptionally different. You know, it's like these weird, I don't know.
Calculated.
Yeah, like just using a very different method where it's not like you're following a slasher, literally. You know, like you're not following the serial killer who's going to get the person and there's going to be some sort of a kill associated with that. This is just like these weird contraptions, almost like a really dark Rube Goldberg device situation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's well done.
It just
that is a great way. That is a great description. Because yes,
right?
that kind of is what it is.
I know. You're like, yeah, it's never
like this triggers that, and then you have to do this before that. Yeah.
So I do feel like there's like this really weird space for you as the audience where you're just very super putting yourself in that situation. You know, like you're imagining like if that thing was on my head, what would I do? And because it's just so different. It was just so different when this movie came out.
I kept on thinking, how heavy is that thing on her head?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's made of like iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and she's I think it's really well done how, like, when I don't think it works in some other scenes, but the franticness in this scene works really well.
Yeah.
And the fact, like, when she pulls out and they just start focusing on her eyes and she realizes that the timer, the 60 seconds timer goes off and her eyes just, like, bust open. Like, I was like, that is really well done. I don't think it works necessarily like the razor wire scene where they kind of use that kind of franticness. But in this scene, it really worked. Yeah. And it was...
Her whole thing was super effective.
Well done.
And this is also the scene where we see the puppet for the first time. Because it's on the TV
fuck that
screen.
Puppet. Fuck that puppet. Mm-hmm. Fuck that puppet and its stupid fucking mouth. I hate that thing.
Our friend came to a Halloween party as that puppet one year.
Yo, fuck that puppet.
That
puppet scares the shit out of me.
An original creation. They totally thought that up themselves and made it from scratch out of like paper towel tubes and paper mache and shit. Like,
that's great. Fuck that puppet.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
well done. That is one of my dolls freak the shit out of me. Not like Barbie dolls, but like dolls that have eyes that open and close. Fucking shit. Like, so you locked me in a room with one of those, and I'm sitting in the corner, like,
have you seen the movie? The movie Dolls? The horror movie?
Yes.
Yes? No. Raptor's seen it. Have you guys seen it? Oh, well.
No.
Let me tell you.
I'm not even going to write it down.
Raptor, should I see that movie?
I mean, if you don't like dolls and you want to get some scary situation going on.
My hands are sweating.
Yeah.
My fucking hands are sweating.
It's basically it's everything that you're worried about happens in that movie.
Real quick, I want to say, like, you asked if Saw kicked off a lot of, like, if there were any connotation between Hostel and Saw. Eli Roth was fucked up on his own because Cabin Fever came out in 2001, 2002. Raptor?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
And that scene of that bitch shaving her legs and all of the skin coming off of her fucking legs, Eli Roth was fucked up on his own. I don't think he needed any pushes over the edge.
Yeah.
I saw that movie in the theater, and I walked out going, like, what the hell did we fucking see? Like, my... Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, as comparisons to, like, that kind of like torture porn, like, I'll like I said, I was going to save it for the end, but I'll go into it real quick right now. There is a very distinct niche for torture porn movies. People really dig those. Actually, Raptor and I have talked a lot about those kind of nasty, disgusting, like Raptor. What was that fucking one that was? It was like found footage style and Green Inferno.
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen that.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I probably don't.
If you don't want to see Aboriginist tribes eat people, then no.
See, and I think this is where I struggle because I think Saw works for me because I can handle the grossing me out if there's enough suspense to go with it. I'm not here for the grossing me out. Like some people, I agree with you. I think there's an audience that like they are in it for the it's like people who like the slasher flicks just for the big kills. Like they're like, oh, I want to see what how big and grandiose and like crazy is it going to get this time? And this is that same kind of vein. But for me, I need a lot of like plot and I need suspense to go with it. So for this movie, I was totally in it. Like I was okay with it making me that uncomfortable and grossed out. But I definitely don't seek that stuff out. Like what's that one? I've never seen it, but now you understand how uncomfortable I am with poop and the poop. So
the poop.
That human centipede.
Raptor. She said the poop.
The poop. Like that was a human centipede or something where the idea was like
Raptor, dude.
Wasn't it like sewing someone's mouth to someone?
Yeah.
Right?
First of all, you never go ass to mouth. Second of all,
and it takes a lot to make me uncomfortable.
I can't. I will never watch that movie because that will.
All I had to hear was the description in the mouth. Nope.
Okay, so Dave and I watched and I was like, "Oh, it's a horror movie or it's like a suspenseful thriller." Have you seen I Spit on Your Grave?
Yep.
Yes.
No, I have not. I've heard that one's really gross. I have seen
the remake.
Did you see the
original
remake?
And the remake sequel.
I saw
really like
the remake. Well, I think I may have enjoyed it more if I was prepared for what it was, because I was not prepared of like an hour of a brutal rape. Like I was not.
See, there's where that loses me because any scenes of rape make me squeamish.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
There was
now I appreciate the second half of the film.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about
where
Last
I was
House
like,
on the Left.
The remake of Last House on the Left,
think
there's
I've
a
seen
brutal rape scene, and I could not. I had to close my eyes.
And the actress is so young. I just,
Well, and again, like it's so the way they shoot it, it's so like almost voyeuristic, and you're like, this is
wrong.
So uncomfortable. Like this is. I don't know how these people actually shot this movie. Like it was that uncomfortable. Yeah. And we watched it and I went, well, that was not what I thought we were going to watch tonight. Like, I thought we were going to watch like a suspenseful, like a slasher flick or like some sort of scary movie, but I was not prepared for that movie. Dave's like, what did we just watch? And I'm like, sorry.
Like that's what I was trying to get. That's kind of those that toes the line of torture porn, and even the best horror movies sometimes they toe that line. Like either it's torture porn or it's suspenseful or it's just a straight horror movie. I will say that the one movie that has not only towed that line but done it so well that you don't even mind some of the brutality is the remake of Evil Dead. If anyone, I know Raptor, have you seen that?
No.
I don't like the original Evil Dead. Would I maybe like the?
When did that come out?
There's less comedy in it than the first one because the first one had some really gut laughs in it. And Sam Raimi didn't direct this; he produced it, but it is fucking brutal and suspenseful. And I'm talking about brutal. Like I'll give you a little soupçon. A girl takes a razor blade and splits her tongue in half.
Whew. Yeah. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Fucking right? And then there's like nail guns to the eyes and things like that. And it's shot well, and it's suspenseful and disgustingly gory, and it's...
And I think, like, if a movie can put those two together for me, I can stay with it. It's like, but if it's gratuitous, like, I'm just trying to make you really super grossed out, it loses me. I need enough plot and, like, suspense to keep going. So I feel like...
It's so good that I've gone back and watched it at least 15 times. It's so good.
I may have to get... I don't like the original, so I may have to give the remake a try. We'll see. Maybe I'll put it on my homework list. We'll see.
Yeah. Someone else better have a fucking homework list other than me. God damn it.
So this poor Amanda girl, she gets told that the key to the padlock on her thing is in the stomach of the dead cellmate in her little escape room here. I did put that during this scene, and I agree with you, like the frantic pace, Andrea, like does work in this scene. But I did make a note that, like, the flashing lights and, like, heavy metal and, like, fast, sped-up scenes of it was a little cheesy for me on this viewing. Like, I was kind of like, it felt very...
It was a little much, but I feel like it did...
It did work better. I think you're right. It worked better in this one than it did in the razor blade wires or whatever.
I think that, the way that Amanda was dressed and the amount of eyeliner she was wearing was admirable to the little goth girl I wanted to be for a week in high school, but I think the speed metal in that scene with the quick cuts and the frantic, it worked specifically for her character. So they could have even saved that screen effect for that scene, and it would have been worked just fine.
You know what I think too? I think for me, the other piece to this that had a little bit of cheese factor for me was I totally understand the discomfort of the dirty bathroom, but then like everywhere else, like he just happens to have all these locations that look just like a cheesy ass haunted house room that's just kind of gross. Like,
that's what only $1 million will buy it.
True, and I think that's the thing is I had to step back for a minute with having that critical eye because when I did read that like this was such a low budget film, it was like a first go for these two that created it, and you know I try to imagine like if it was my first time making a movie and putting it together, and you had to cut corners and didn't have money for effects and things like that. Yeah, you'd have to do stuff like that. But it's just either that or it's just every haunted house that I've ever been like, okay, let's go through a haunted house type of thing. And they all kind of look like that. You know, like...
lots of strobe lights, lots of loud music.
See, now this is where Raptor and I differentiate because I really don't care for haunted houses. But I know Raptor fucking sucks the dick of haunted houses.
Absolutely.
So
the only dick I'll suck.
Oh, it's funny because she's a lesbian. I wasn't prepared for that.
You're welcome.
Fuck.
So you are
neither was anyone else.
Raptor, we need to go when the coronavirus ends. Like Raptor and I need to go to like Halloween Horror Nights, and then we can go run through the haunted houses together.
I'm so down.
I go with my best friend, my other best friend, but my best friend Faith. Like, she lives in Florida, and I go visit her, and we go on Halloween Horror Nights and go run through all of the haunted houses.
I'm down.
Drunk.
I'm not even better.
Listen, I am not against a good haunted house. I've never been in that, like the real fucking haunted houses. I've never had the occasion to go to one. Like, it's just not been, like, no one's ever asked me, yo, yo, you want to go a night and drink a fucking fifth of Jaeger and go in a haunted house? No one's ever asked me. So, like, and I'm a cheap date. Fuck, like, yes, Jaeger and haunted house is fine. But I will say that if you get too close to me, I don't care what character it is, I'm going to punch him in the face.
So, I'm the opposite.
That might be the end.
I will go to a haunted house, and I have kind of like a little bit of an ambivalence towards it. I'll go.
Only dick I'll suck.
Crumples on the ground. I'm sorry, I've been to a haunted house with you. Melissa will crumple onto the ground, and I end up running into a wall. That's
okay. So
that's what
that being said, I think that there needs to be an explanation there. Number one, I am the person in your group that will attract every actor. Like, everyone is coming to me. I can be in the front, I can be in the back, I can be in the middle. I have some sort of a face that says, I won't punch you in the face. So then they all come to me, and they're like here the whole time.
Do you just automatically have that innate look of holy fucking shit?
Yes. So, but I don't scream or freak out or anything like that. What Andrea is referencing is probably the most memorable and exceptional haunted house I have ever been to in my life was by the fucking JCs in DeKalb by our university. Like a volunteer club put together this haunted house that was the worst. It was the worst. It was so scary. First of all, they just submerged you in pitch black. And
no, thank you.
You were trying to find your way around, and I touched someone's body that wasn't in my group. Nope. And I was like, oh, no, that's not what we're here for. I'm sorry. And then it's like, and so then we're totally, we're totally stuck. We can't figure it out. We are lost. Finally, I have to address the body in the room that I have touched. I'm like, there's someone with us or whatever. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, you have to duck down. You had to crawl. So in the blackness, you had to figure out that there was a crawl through. And I was like, this is just going to get worse from here. And that one was, and because they did a lot of submerging you into pitch black. And that'll get me.
Yeah.
But like the weird,
my favorite,
jumpy.
Yeah, no, my favorite part of that entire haunted house where we come out and Melissa and I are like clutched to each other. Now, we are the perfect example of fight or flight. Well, no, flight or pass out. I don't know.
No, what you're looking for is
get scared
or hide. Because I know that I am not.
So Melissa collapses. This guy comes out to scare us. Melissa collapses and huddles into a small ball.
Because maybe he won't see me.
And I go, holy shit, and then proceed to run into a wall.
Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go in a haunted house.
And then after that, the guy is laughing so hard that we end up getting up and just shuffling to the next
embarrassment. Yes, after we finally figured it out. Because I know that I cannot flight. Like, you're going to catch this person, okay? My running is at the pace of a turtle through peanut butter. It's very slow. It's like...
Shit.
I'm almost in slow motion when I'm running. And so the idea of like running, it's like either kick ass or hide. You're going to have to pick from those two, Melissa. And I had nothing, there's part of my brain that knew that these are just normal, real people. So I'm not going to like start an actual physical altercation. I'll just drop down and cuddle into a ball and pretend like maybe they won't see me. I'm just, that's a valid.
All right, bet money. I'll fucking go to a haunted house just to watch this shit.
Okay.
I'll buy night vision goggles to see in the dark so I can fucking watch everything.
It's pretty great.
It'd probably be very amusing.
And then I'll watch Raptor be the total butch and be like, yo, everybody's here is a bunch of fucking pussies.
Yeah.
No, now, so I've gone to Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Studios for the past like couple of years with my best friend Faith, who lives down there, and she's like 5'0", so she's real short. I'm 5'10". She just pushes me towards.
You're just her human shield.
Yes, I'm just the shield.
I did that to my friend the one time.
I feel like Raptor, you would love too. I've never been to the Halloween Horror Nights, but I went to Knott's Scary Farm in California. Ooh. So Knott's Berry Farm is a lot like a Six Flags, like the roller coasters, that kind of thing. And in Halloween, they do something called Knott's Scary Farm. I actually have never been on a single ride there because I went just to that event, and they had 13 haunted houses in the park.
I've always wanted to do that.
And just to do all of those, because they start it where they start all of the stuff late, you know, like you go at like 6.
Same thing at Universal.
And then you go till like midnight or something.
Yeah.
And so we went through every single haunted house, and they were really good. Like it was pretty cool. But that's something that
do they sell adult diapers in the gift shop?
I don't know, man. I'm sure someone has had to ask.
I mean, and I swear to Christ, I'll pull out the cup of cheese to get one of these fucking actors away from me. If the four of us are in a fucking haunted house together and it's dark and we've lost each other and you just hear cup of cheese, fucking clear out.
We know.
Clear out.
Bill has hit his head. That's it.
Go to towards the nearest exit. That's it.
So I took my daughter.
Get away from me.
I was in. So she had to be maybe, I don't know, almost 5. And we were at Indiana Beach, which is one of those really like old boardwalk style amusement parks. And they have one of those cheesy like little haunted houses you go in. So her and one of the friends of like the other family that I was with, these two little knuckleheads say they really want to go in the haunted house. So in this, Indiana Beach is where like certain things you have to like pay extra. So I go up to the lady that's at the haunted house and I was like, I don't know, these two can they do this? I don't know what the level of like haunted house is here. So she's like, oh yeah, I mean, they'll probably be fine. Some kids do just fine with it. And I was like, all right. So I pay the like $5 or whatever to get these two in. We go in, they go, well, there are, I can't remember what they called them, like escape doors. They call them chicken doors. That's what it was. If you're a chicken, like there's...
Okay, so...
there's chicken doors. And I was like, okay. So here I have Audrey and her little friend, and we're ready, and we all go in, and they're like right in front of me, and I have my hand like on their shoulders, and I'm like, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, Mom, we're doing this. This is going to be great. We're going to do a haunted house. Oh, okay. That's fine. And I'm thinking it's all going to be like animatronic, like when you go to like a pumpkin patch or something. Well, I don't really know what was in there because the very first scare, and then we had to go out the chicken doors. But then the chicken doors in my brain were going to be like, you open the door, you're back in the sunshine at the park. Oh no, my friends. You go through the chicken doors, and it's just taking you down a very narrow plywood path that you're basically following the whole thing. It's just nothing's jumping out at you. And it's dark. And you're trying to find your way out, but nothing's jumping out at you. That was almost worse with these two tiny children. Like, oh my God. Way to go on the chicken doors. I thought like it was like salvation. Like, great, escape hatch, here we go, no problem. Oh no, we still had to basically walk through it. It was pretty brutal. I did write down, though, in Amanda's situation, the bright red blood and guts that she eventually...
Yes.
Oh, well...
That was horrible.
Well, I did read that they had to do that after the MPAA watched the first cut. They actually asked them to make it look less real because it was too gruesome.
That's actually they did the same thing with the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're shot in a very similar way, where it's when they edit the film, it's a bleach bypass production where they just oversaturate some whites and things like that, and oversaturate some colors. And that's what knocked them on that fucking NC-17 rating, is because that blood was just... The blood looked fucking disgusting. So they had to go back in.
Yeah.
I think they gave them an extra, like, $500,000 to go back in and re-edit all the blood. That's an expensive fix.
Yeah. Well, I guess... Because I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But we also kind of glossed over the fact that the cellmate, turns out, wasn't dead.
Yo, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like...
Okay, so with your here's my issue with this, with Jigsaw's game. That's not fair. You said your dead cellmate. Now you're going to try to get all up in arms about the rules of your game coming up later. We know it's all about these rules. You said dead. You definitely said dead on the tape.
Yo, there comes the hood finger.
I mean, okay.
Do we ever find out what this guy, like, who he was?
I think
if he was a bad man, or like, I feel like there's some inequality to the people he picks as far as who he's going to torture, because wow.
Yeah.
Like,
well, then I put she gets the trap off of her head because she goes for it. She digs in the guts and kills the dude with a little scalpel. And the puppet rides in on a tricycle.
Nope.
Yep.
No.
hell fucking no.
Sure does. He rides in on a little tricycle. And then I wrote,
Terrifying.
He puts some major gratitude shit on her. Like, you need to be grateful for your life. And some people just aren't grateful enough. And I'm like, bitch, please. Get the fuck out. Ain't no more lessons.
Grateful.
I drove around
You
in
just
the
made
guts
me
and got the
murder
key.
someone.
No more lessons. Get the fuck out of here. I just killed somebody. Goodbye.
Well, she did she actually acknowledge that he was alive before she went and fucking went all scalpel on him?
I mean, they showed us as the audience. I guess I didn't really notice whether she registered that, if she was just in a panic and just started going bananas. But like,
I don't know, because he opened his eyes and there was her eyes went to the right real quick.
Yeah.
And, like, probably could see that his eyes were open, but she was like,
Well,
when in Rome.
And she literally had 60 seconds to make a decision. Like, less than 60 seconds, because as soon as she came off of that chair, the timer started. So I turned to Dave and I go, what would you do? And he's like, I don't know, man. I was like, I'd probably have my skull peeled back, because I don't know. I don't know if I could.
I'm just saying.
Damn.
He said dead. Okay.
He's dude.
It's not fair.
Okay, can I tell you one of the scariest scenes is the next scene where the daughter is talking about how she wakes up and she sees the scary man in her room, and then she wanders into her parents' bedroom and she just stands there until her mom wakes up. That is fucking terrifying.
Because children
My daughter
fucking
used to
do
do
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sophie used to do it all the time.
I have woken up, I have turned around and seen my child standing there and been like, what are you doing? I had a bad dream.
Yeah, because they don't want to wake you
silent.
up. They don't want to actually get in trouble for waking you up, but they want you to get up.
Yes.
So they stare at you. It is a fucking horror movie in and of itself.
Absolutely.
Duh. Nothing worse than a creepy child staring at you in the middle of the night.
Too, they also, like, Adam discovers, like, right before they cut to that scene in their house, he does discover that there's a two-way mirror and a camera, because it's like he inadvertently throws something at that, and then that's how they discover that. But I did write down the, Adam starts freaking out, and he asks the doctor, like, well, what are you thinking about? And she's like, the last thing I said to my daughter. And so they go to that cutscene of, the doctor's home life, and I just wrote, holy creepy house. Yeah. Like, it's
lit very low.
It's supposed to look like a fancy apartment or something, but I'm like,
no, it's lit of one of two ways. It's either lit like some hipster studio apartment, or like they're gonna shoot the lowest budget porn ever.
I mean, it's brick walls, and it's not okay. It's really not.
No.
And then I also wrote down too that now, Allison, the wife, I understand that everybody parents differently, but my kid says to me, Mommy, there's a scary man in my room. Oh, girl, show Mommy. Here we go. What'd you see? Let's go in there. I ain't going to write that shit off. Somebody, listen.
I am grabbing.
Oh, shit. You have a sword?
It's a wooden sword my husband made, but I will grab whatever is...
Absolutely.
Close. It might not kill him, but it's going to give him some regretful splinters.
Yes. I am not kidding you. There have been times when, like, you have one of those iffy moments where the front door wasn't locked or it's cracked open and you don't have a good explanation for why it's left or something. This bitch puts a kitchen knife in her pocket and is like, okay, let's do this. Let's walk around the house. Let's do it.
Melissa, I feel like you have either a switchblade or like a butterfly knife on your person at all times.
I mean...
Like you could shank a bitch.
I'm 100% thinking about what I can use as a weapon all the time.
Uh-huh.
Any creepy situation happens, I'm like, oh, I got something for this. No, Andrea's seen my mom purse. I mean, there's something in there.
There's something.
Just dig deep. There's something in there.
I could probably make a weapon out of anything.
100%. If nothing else, just like when I have my nails done for my claws, like, I'm ready for this. Let's do it. I'm coming for your eyeballs, and I'm not stopping until they pop.
That's why I love Raptor, because if there's any kind of sticky situation, I know that she'll beat the shit out of somebody for me, and I don't have to do a thing because I'm a big puss.
Yeah.
It's like I'll do
Be like,
anything to get out of the situation. Like, please, like, I'll suck your dick. Please don't hit me. Like,
Deal with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then even when Dad goes to the little girl's room, it's like he doesn't even look around. They just write it off. I'm sorry. It's one thing if they say there's a monster in my room, but when they say there's a creepy man talking to me in my room, we doing a full search.
Yeah. 360-point restoration. We're doing this. Let's go.
Yes.
I'm grabbing Dave, and I'm saying we are going to go check this from, like...
I ain't grabbing Drew. I'm doing that
stern.
shit myself. Ha!
Nah.
No.
Oh, no.
It's
Dave would...
And then, obviously we discover that things aren't as, too great at the home life situation with the doctor. And there's like an argument with
Monica
the wife.
Potter said something that cut fucking deep. What did she say? If you don't love me, just say so. At least there'll be some passion in something you say. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, that's a nut punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I'll have some passion in it or something. Yeah,
she went right for the dick on that one.
So then this is when we go. So we leave that cutscene and we're back in the bathroom, and I put Doc throws his wallet to Adam to show pictures of his family. And this was a little twist that I didn't remember. I didn't really remember the family being, again, like you, Andrea, it was like I was just remembering this one room, like everything was the one room, but like the peripheral stuff I totally forgot about. And so he finds this Polaroid of the wife and kid tied up with a clue on the back about seeing more with your eyes shut or whatever. But he doesn't tell because, and I could see, I was like thinking about like putting myself in Adam's shoes, like that. It's almost like the humanity he was showing of like, I don't know if I can tell this guy that there is a picture of his wife and kid tied up in his wallet. Yeah. Like that. That's a hard thing. Like I liked the tension that created a little bit. I totally forgot about it too.
Yeah. It's a good beat of tension. It kind of shows what a good actor Cary Elwes is, and it shows what an actual decent actor Lee Wanell turned out to be because he actually acted his ass off.
Yeah, and then so we do get to see that there really was an intruder in the kids' room. And now,
oh my God.
And so, but then I put he does this weird game of listening to the kid's heart with a stethoscope, and I just wrote in my notes, "Fuck this guy." What?
Listen,
so I'm confused. Oh, first of all, when he first takes the stethoscope and puts it on that child's chest, I was like, that seems awfully calm. Like her heartbeat. Like, if that was my child's, their heartbeat would be, through the roof.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom.
I didn't really
and then it's
think
like,
about
oh,
that.
I'm going to...
But I was just like, fuck you. Get the... What do you listen... Where'd you get that stethoscope?
I thought it was weird. I don't
Listen, you're
understand...
so combative.
Well, I don't understand why... Like, when you look at it later... Why would he do that? There's no reason.
Maybe it was just his kink.
I guess, okay, so I guess in the special features, they were going to go a weirder direction with this, where they were going to almost insinuate that he was in some doing weird stuff with the little girl's underwear, in her underwear drawer.
No, please stop.
Yeah, and they took that out, but they still wanted to give him I guess maybe for us to assume that, because again, up to here, we're assuming that this is our guy. This is Jigsaw,
right.
And so I think that they maybe...
They needed to give him another plot point? Fucking stick an eye patch on him. Don't have him touch the fucking little girl with a stethoscope. Fuck that noise.
Yeah, the touching her with a stethoscope and then putting the gun up all in their faces, I was like, ooh, you know what? Straight hood would be coming out of this, mama. Straight hood. The fuck out of here. What do you think is happening? Come here, bring that stethoscope over here. Come here. That's how that would go. Come on up real close. Let's see how my forehead knocks right against your teeth.
You're gonna headbutt him?
Absolutely.
You went right for a headbutt? Jesus Christ.
Well, she had her hands tied up, you know?
Why not? Forehead is strong.
Nice and strong.
The frontal bone, very strong.
So, here's where things for me also got very weird. Our weirdo, our creeper in the room looks out the window. That's when it is revealed to us that it's the orderly. Like, we know this guy. And Danny Glover is watching the doctor's apartment or house or whatever. I was like, where are we going with this?
Okay, so let's fast forward like 3 seconds to the interior of Danny Glover's apartment. And he's got the normal, he went crazy, newspaper clippings everywhere. So from the time that he interviewed Dr. Gordon to the time where he's watching Dr. Gordon's apartment, is that, what kind of timeline is that? Is that 3 weeks? He lost his complete fucking shit in such a where did he get all the newspapers? Did he buy every newspaper in the Tri-County area and fucking cut them all out?
Okay, so this is also my problem. Like,
did he go to Kinko's? How much is he paying for copies?
Anytime, okay, so you see him in this scene, and then you realize later that he goes through this whole thing where his, like, all that stuff in the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
Where he almost catches Jigsaw.
Yes.
But, like, when you're thinking about it in timeline of what is going on, like, how much time has passed? Like, that would have had to have been months and months.
It was...
Yeah, and he's got like old Chinese takeout containers, and I don't know if anybody here has ever eaten Chinese and they left it out.
And graffiti.
What's that?
There's graffiti in his apartment. In his apartment. But he's across the street from this extremely wealthy doctor, whatever. But yet his apartment is completely like ghetto trash.
Like
graffiti.
There's no door.
Yeah. I also was wondering did they maybe not make it clear that this was supposed to be almost like a stakeout spot? Like,
if they would have implied that would have made much more sense. However, that does not negate the fact that the stakeout place is a shithole.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
old coffee cups and fucking Chinese. If you've left Chinese takeout on the counter for 3 hours, shit gets inedible. And fucking... So you're leaving it there for weeks now? You scumbag.
I know. And I put, where the fuck does he live with all this graffiti everywhere? Or whatever is happening? Like, my God.
He's across the street from the doctor's apartment that probably cost him like $1 million.
Right. So it's like your neighborhood doesn't really match up. Like, you wouldn't have a graffiti-filled place right across from the highbrow doctor situation. So, but okay. We're supposed to determine that Danny Glover's character is maybe getting a little obsessed, and he keeps saying, I never should have let you go. And that's when, I guess, this is where we go into, like, yet another cutscene. We do see that, it says something where, like, okay, I wrote down that the cop is dropping off the doctor, and he makes some remark about, like, this must have been after he interrogated him. Like, oh, well, the sewer lines run through here, too. Like...
Yeah, so what he said was, we arrested a dentist a couple weeks back who liked to do disgusting things with children. Sewer lines run through... Basically saying shit runs in this neighborhood.
Yes. And I caught on to that, and then... so then we go back, and it's like, Danny Glover's character is watching the tapes of... like Jigsaw or whatever, and he's going over it. His partner's like, "Come on, man, let's go out and get something to eat and come back. Take a break," kind of thing. And he doesn't want to do it. He's going to watch the tapes, and he sees some sort of gang graffiti and hears a fire siren, and so that gives them a clue that he and his partner are going to head to a building that they think Jigsaw's at. I did write down when they bust into this building that's, I don't know, like a warehouse or whatever the fuck. The fog on the stairs was a bit much. Like...
Yeah, because that was a Spirit of Halloween fog machine.
Yes. Like, again, the haunted house, like, cheese factor for me. I was like, fog on the stairs. Okay.
This whole scene made me want to tear my hair out because I'm like, first of all, why the fuck aren't you calling it in? You bust in and you're like, they're like, oh, we can't call it in. It's we're not doing it by the book. It's supposed to be abandoned. So if it's supposed to be abandoned, there's no one supposed to be there, correct? So
Right.
you should immediately get on the phone and call for backup.
Yeah, it's not like you entered a
we're talking about the
residence.
scene. We're talking about the scene where Danny Glover and Asian cop enter. They find Jigsaw's hideout,
Yes,
right?
the lair.
Yes.
Okay. The lair. Okay. So not only do they find the fucking creepy ass doll, which I hope that doll burns in hell. They find a fucking dude strapped to a trap.
Person!
Wait for it.
Yeah, right. They find a
Call
person.
911.
I'm sorry.
And Asian cops like, we have him. And Danny Glover's like, no, cover him back up. Let's see what he does. What? Wait a minute.
There's fog
Like,
on the
what?
stairs, a creepy puppet, and everything's draped in red velvet.
I mean,
You
props to the
are
red velvet. That's
already
pretty.
calling 911 right there. You're
Yeah.
already calling for backup. Like, just, we stumbled upon something a little strange over here at this empty warehouse building or whatever the hell. I agree. I was like, why didn't they call for backup? But of course, we need this for the plot. They find the dude with the tape on his mouth, and he's got those like drills coming toward his head, and Detective Singh is trying to figure it out and everything, and Danny Glover is absolutely useless.
Andrew's about to lose her shit.
But then I wrote, then a man comes in a strange like boxing robe. Like, it looked like boxers. You know what I'm talking? Like Rocky?
Yeah.
Like with the hood and it's like silk. I was like, is he fucking Rocky? What's happening here? I don't remember
can you picture that? Can you picture that? He fucking just disrobes and all of a sudden, hey, yo, yeah, this guy over here is being attested. Yeah, you understand? Oh, God.
It's just,
Raptor, let's write that movie.
Okay. I'm
Saw
down.
9.5, starring Sylvester Stallone.
as Rocky.
As Rocky, and it's just the trailer is like 6 minutes of him just going, sometimes I gotta be tested, And Adrian, yeah, she said you gotta be tested. So I put I'm not very smart, you understand? So I took the drills, and then the black cop and the Asian boy, they came in and they stopped me, you understand? Fucking 6 minutes of that?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Well, and
fucking A.
that leads to my next note of like lots of monologuing here. Lots of monologuing. Like it's
Lots of exposition.
yeah,
yes.
I was like, okay, we're going to talk about all the appreciating life shit again, huh? Lay that gratitude shit on us one more time. And like Danny Glover, just box of rocks sitting there, totally useless. Good thing you cashed that paycheck for that 2 days of work, because holy shit.
Oh, I would love to find out how much Danny Glover made for that movie.
I'm sorry, it's just like, wow.
Was it just like a promise of like taking him out to lunch at Benihana for two?
Something. I mean,
This is just the most infuriating part, because then all of a sudden he's like, the way I'm going to get away, I'm going to start these drill bits. And I was like, there's so much fucking shit to just break those damn drill bits. Like, they're like panicking, like, how do I do this? I'm like, I don't know, take anything that is around you and just...
Yeah, and then Asian
hit.
cop instinctively tries to get the keys because he's like, the keys are in the box. And then he pulls out a ring of janitor keys.
right. Well, and then when Danny Glover does decide that he's going to go for Rocky, he does a terrible job of it and allows him to, like, he's got a gun pointed right at him. I'm like, shoot that motherfucker. You are within your rights. You figured it out, man. He's got a guy with drill bits and a piece of tape across his mouth. You can shoot this asshole. It's fine. But instead, he lets himself get compromised, and that asshole pulls a knife out and slits his throat.
Not only pulls a knife out, but has a spring-loaded knife like Assassin's Creed and fucking just snip it and then
It's in his boxing taped wrists because he's in a fucking boxer robe. I was like, what is happening right now? This time around, because I wasn't so deep in it like how you are the first time when you see something and you're watching it with this critical eye, I was like, what in the fuck is actually happening here? I understand a cheap budget, but like, did you think that was going to be a cloak of invisibility? Why is it satin? I don't understand what I am looking at. And then it's got the like red peeking out around it. I was like, this is dorky. So,
hey, yo, Adrian, I need something to slice this motherfucker's throat, but I've been hitting the head too much. Can you help me tape this kitchen knife to my wrist?
and then it's like, then you got, what is it? Like the coach comes by and sprays some water in his mouth. Spit it out.
Yeah, here comes Mick. Ah, rock.
on the credits, instead of it saying Sylvester Stallone, it says, this person, featuring Rocky Balboa.
Featuring Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
In your movie.
Oh, fuck.
So unfortunately, Detective Singh bites it.
I'm done.
That's just he's shit just doesn't go. I mean, there's a tripwire. I mean, the thing is he actually shoots at this fucker, but then
You have lost Bill. Bill has left the building.
I know. I'm sorry.
Way to fucking bury the lead. Holy shit.
I'm just saying. That poor kid. Shit, dude. He got wrecked.
I know. I was really rooting for him too. I mean, I really liked him.
His damn
I totally
partner.
forgot that happened. I swear, man, I missed this whole movie.
Yeah. I mean, this poor guy, he just got stuck with the wrong partner who's phoning it in.
Not only bites it, but bites it with 6 shotguns to the head.
Yeah, what?
At the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I will say that one was just quick and to the point. We didn't spend a whole lot of time grossing the audience out. There it was. Sorry, the Asian kid doesn't make it. He's a goner. Sorry, dude.
God.
I did write that Danny just starts acting kind of cray-cray, and we're back in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they turn the lights off and see the X that marks the spot, or whatever. Clever. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, because Adam, does his whole, oh, maybe we should turn the lights off. How are you just randomly thinking that you're going to turn the lights off?
Well,
I mean,
Dr. Lawrence has that exact same thought later on.
Exactly.
So they find the locked box with a phone and a cigarette and a note in it. And my favorite part is when Adam asks for the cigarette right away. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Lawrence says, "You are going to put something you found in this room in your mouth?" I wrote in my notes, "It's me! It's me!" What did you say? You don't put anything in this room. You put your fucking hand in the toilet, now you're going to put it right up in here? No. Oh.
Again, staph infection.
Yeah. E. coli is real. Okay? And that shit lives in your ass. And that's in that toilet that you were digging around.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so there's a note in the box that it says you don't necessarily need the gun to kill Adam because, remember, he's got to kill Adam by 6 o'clock. And they try the phone, but the phone doesn't make outgoing calls. It only accepts calls. Now, this is a little bit of a hiccup in the plot because even a phone like that would call out to 911.
Yes, it would.
But that's all right. We'll go there. That's fine.
Maybe he was some sort of tech genius and figured out how to...
Because truth be told, even if they called 911, this is not back in the day where they can, GPS track your phone that easily, so they don't know where they are. I mean, I don't know exactly.
But even then, even on my cell phone bill, you have to pay for 911 service. So, and if you don't pay it, they shut your phone off. So... how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, they say that even if they do, it's still supposed to work. Even if they charge you for it, it's still, the call will still go through. But, I don't know, so this is the point where the doctor has a memory that he wasn't alone in the parking garage and how he got into the room. And I just wrote, the thing with the pig head that was in his back seat. Again, this was kind of that haunted house cliche. We were just in a Rocky Balboa robe and now we're in a pig head and I don't really know what's happening. Yeah. Got a lot of costumes. This is where, so I had this issue with the movie Frozen. And I know this, how the fuck did I get here?
Wait a minute. Yeah. We're not going to blow past that. You didn't just say that.
This is quite the leap, but I'm going to get...
We're talking about a horror movie, not a family treasure.
So in the movie Frozen, when I first saw it, and everybody was over the moon about Frozen, and I was going into it ready to love it, because I was like, ooh, it's a movie about sisters, and I have a sister, and I love my sister, and it's going to be great. And then I didn't really care for it. And I think a big part of it was Disney couldn't decide on how many cutesy things they were going to do. They had the little trolls. They had the moose or the reindeer, whatever the fuck. And they had...
He is a reindeer.
I know. And they had the snowman. It was decide on your cutesy character. I'm going to need you to... it's just... You didn't really get... none of them were cute enough. And, I mean, Olaf clearly, like, steals the show, but it was like these other
Fucking
ones
A.
were not really, I don't know, I just felt like there wasn't enough time for you to fall in love with them. And Disney tends to do this sometimes now in their movies, because it's really like they're just planting them for merchandise. It's like they don't really develop those little cutesy sidekicks, right? Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like in Saw, they didn't really develop, like, the puzzle piece, and there's the puppet, and there's the weird costumes, and there's like
there's
it's
too much stuff.
you know, it's like, okay, calm the fuck down. You've got the
You only need one. You only need to focus on one.
You all set with the voice changer and the little tapes.
People.
Like we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
We're sufficiently creeped out.
Yeah.
It just was a lot.
Like, it's the same thing. Like when you look at the really good like serial killer movies, like they have one thing that they are doing throughout these, even like like real life serial killers. Like they don't have 12 different like things that they do. They stick to one thing. And they do that over and over again. And that's creepy enough. Like you don't need to have, like, I need to figure out, you need to be redeemed, and then I need to cut a puzzle piece out, and then I need to...
I mean, this guy got a lot of time on his hands.
Have a weird contraption.
He's coming up with all these damn contraptions and notes and locks and keys, and he's taping his voice, and then he's wearing his robe, and he's got drills, and he's draping everything in cloth, and I mean, he's got so much time on his hands. Cutting the puzzle piece out.
You're really bitter about that red velvet.
I really am. It really was like, that is a huge, giant, glaring strobe light of warning. Like, right there. That's... Something is wrong here. Why is everything draped in red velvet? So...
Oh, you know what? Quick story. And Raptor will remember this real hard. So... Every Halloween, Raptor and I both change our ringtones to fucking Halloween stuff. Usually she goes with a Halloween theme. And I'll just have a revolving door of, like, the Exorcist theme. Yeah, right? So the Exorcist theme, I had the Nightmare on Elm Street theme, I did the Halloween theme. But then I did the Jigsaw puppet laugh.
Yeah, he did. Oh, my God.
Raptor and I were in a meeting at work, and it went off non-stop.
Yeah. He could not get to his phone fast enough.
Oh, wait, no, it gets better. So after I fumbled my phone and turned it off, then My Favorite Murder starts playing out loud.
And everyone at work is like, the fuck?
We were in a meeting with like 16 other department managers and our boss, and she's like, what the fuck, Bill? And I'm like, the phone doesn't... I'll go fuck myself. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
But you could like the Jigsaw thing went off and like 6 people jumped. It was the best. Raptor looks at me like, you did it. You finally did it.
Man.
You fucked up too much.
That's awesome. I also do the Halloween themes for sure. My go-to favorite is the Vincent Price laugh from Thriller. Ooh. That's always one of mine. Yes, for sure.
I mean, let's just take a minute to appreciate Vincent Price for one. And to appreciate his laugh, but the quote-unquote rap he does at the end of Thriller is the most fucking stupid thing that I've ever heard. Darkness falls across the land. And then he starts jive talking to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. I'm sorry, what are you... Did you just... Is there a black neighborhood that's now becoming gentrified and you're trying to sympathize with all the homies? Stop jive talking. Who are you jive talking to?
Right, I love it.
I love it.
That's
I'm here
fine.
for it.
Listen, I do love it. I just think it's corny as fuck.
It can go ahead and be.
I've watched the making of Thriller so many times since I was like a wee lass.
My wife and I learned that entire choreographed dance and then did it for her sorority when she was in college. Yeah.
Well,
there may, if you look hard enough, it's on YouTube. If you you'll never find it, but if you look hard enough, you might.
Well, I have used that ringtone enough, and then have inundated my daughter enough with Thriller that she does her own rendition of the Vincent Price laugh, and it's pretty fucking great. Like a little kid doing the like Vincent Price laugh. I should try to record it before she gets too old, so that then that can be my ringtone because it's pretty awesome.
I want to hear it.
It's pretty great. Yeah, I definitely was thinking about this, and I was like, there's just so many things, and we're just getting a little convoluted here. But then they do, let's see, He did the whole, there was a person in his back seat or whatever, and then that's how he got there. And then that's when the doctor says what you said, Andrea. And he's like, why did you say to turn off the lights? Like, how did you know to do that type of thing? And so I like that. I like that his character was smart enough to, like, get there quick. You know, I thought that was good to do because I didn't know, I couldn't remember if they were going to play that out. You know, like, when would he discover that there was the photograph with his family and all that? Like, I didn't remember from the first viewing. So I liked that. And the doctor purposely dips the, like, end of the cigarette in the poisoned blood.
Yeah.
And I thought this was clever that, like, basically he does it for show on the camera and then he turns off the lights again so that there can be this fake out, which, hey, you're trying something.
Right.
Okay?
You're trying, but, like, I mean, it is so
Adam Dunn did you
laughable.
wrong with that goddamn death scene. I mean, he just went... He went for it too hard. It was...
Yeah.
It was like something out of a cartoon. I was like, oh, no. But okay.
Yeah,
yeah. And so Adam remembers how he got there. And this is where I thought, okay, wait a minute. I don't remember this either. Where he's in the dark room and he's developing pictures. And they're pictures of Dr. Lawrence. And now as the audience, you're like, wait just a minute. They are connected somehow. So I liked that a lot. I thought that was really great. Again, in his dark room and apartment and everything, so much graffiti. All the graffiti is there.
Yes.
We're like in fucking Gotham City or some shit. I don't know what's happening.
Don't you goddamn talk shit about Gotham City.
Listen.
Yeah, but why is everybody graffitiing the inside of their apartment?
That's how you do.
What I want to know.
You graffiti the inside. That's where all your gang tags can be seen. Is inside people's apartments.
I think.
I mean, in Chicago, that's not how they do.
Have the budget.
All the tagging.
They took the same.
Is outside.
They took the same apartment that they used for Danny Glover's obsession scene, and they just repurposed it for Adam's apartment.
That's smart. That's just smart filmmaking.
Yeah.
Like, because.
And, you know, same...
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not tagging my, like, you know, office here. I'm being like, I'm going to mark my territory because I need to know who lives here.
True. You know?
It's like dudes in high school that get their own name tattooed on their back.
That's a special person.
Dude, Patrick. we had the absolute best wrestler on the wrestling team get his own last name tattooed on his back. And it was so long that it went onto his shoulders.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I mean, I don't know what's happening with this graffiti. You do not see this shit on HGTV. I don't know where they got this idea. It's definitely a look that they're trying to go for. I don't know. But, of course, Adam also gets his moment with the creepy... Now, this is where we get the creepy laughing puppet. He's laughing. He's doing his thing. And the weird pig costume. He was using the flash bulb to see, which I thought was interesting because it's kind of like an old school photography type of, you know, that real like loud with the bulbs and everything. So I kind of liked that effect, that it was a little vintagey.
I mean, they still use it. I mean, that's still used in like digital photography and stuff. I mean, my brother's a photographer. He has those same type of flashes.
Yeah, but I don't think they make that same like noise and like, you know, way back when they used to pop the bulb.
Yeah.
And then you had to change the bulb every time.
Well, that's like in the 1800s, Melissa. I think we're way.
Oh no, even beyond that, or later than that. Because that's, my mom used to have a camera. Now, not like this flash thing, but she had one of these like little skinny cameras, and if you wanted a flash on it, this was like in the 80s, it had like a flash bar that you would put on it, and every time you took a picture, the bulb popped. So like they all would pop. Like you couldn't reuse it once they all ran out.
I think maybe she had a crappy camera.
Well, sure, absolutely, 100%. It was terrible, but I'm just saying it wasn't like that. I mean, I wouldn't say he was going that vintage, but I liked the effect. I thought that was cool. But then again, we see the weird pig costume, and that guy gets him, and his, you know, robe and all that. So we're back in the bathroom. The cell phone rings, and it's the kid. the little girl, Diana,
No.
crying about the bad man. This was pretty awful. The wife gets on the phone, and I did like how we get this, like, she says, is Adam there? Don't believe his lies. He knows you. And so now, and what I liked about this is I thought it was a very clever way for them to escalate the doctor, because he's been very calm the whole time. And they needed
Right.
something to make him get frantic. Like, how can they dial it up? Not just the whole, like, I have your family, but he has to, like, get distrustful of the other dude in the room.
Yeah.
I like the way they did it.
And I didn't remember Adam, like what his whole deal was. So I was this entire time thinking, like, well, if she knows him, did she hire him? That's where my mind immediately went, because I didn't remember the rest of the plot. Like, well, how does she know about him?
I 100% thought
Did she hire him because she was suspicious that he was cheating on her and was going to divorce him?
So how do you think? Do you think that the guy that's holding the mom and the daughter hostage told her to say that? Because it's not that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. Because I mean, he has a gun, so he's gonna be like, he's just gonna put it to her head and be like, "You need to say this verbatim, or else I'm gonna shoot you and the little girl."
Okay. Because I was a little. Yeah. I was kind of like what you were saying, Andrea. Like, kind of like, how does she know? Because I immediately thought that too. Like, oh, she thinks he's having the affair, and she hired this photographer. But now here's the thing. So Adam, that's what he does, right? He catches people who are having affairs and lying to someone. Does this really warrant him landing in the dirty bathroom chained to the wall?
No,
but that is a shit job.
I mean, yeah, it's a shitty job, but I don't think he deserves to be, like, locked up in a torture room.
No, you're right.
Not grateful for his life. I mean,
Maybe Jigsaw just doesn't fucking like him.
I just was like, he got the most bum deal of everybody. Yeah. You know, like, I don't know that he deserved to, I don't know. That kind of, I thought, I would think that was also unfair, much like the guy who was supposed to be dead in Jigsaw's game. He's trying to play it like he's all about rules, but I'm calling his shit. So Adam, that he reveals that's basically what he does. He takes pictures of people, like, having affairs, doing whatever, and he says, well, what were you doing in that motel room that I shot pictures of you? And it's that med student. But how... Or
as I like to call, thirsty
nurse. Yeah. How creepy is it when it's like he walks into the motel room, he basically breaks up with her, but the phone rings, and when she picks it up and she's like, it's for you. I mean... my alarm.
Would you answer that? I'd be like, fuck this out, I'm leaving.
Oh, no. Well, but this is before he got locked in a dirty bathroom. I mean, I think at that point...
I don't care. No. I'd be like, no one is supposed to know I'm here. Say you have no idea what they're talking about, and I'm leaving right now.
And her reaction is quite like fucking Rocky was on the other end. Hey, yo, is Dr. Gordon there? You put Dr. Gordon on the phone.
I will tell you, I think my reaction probably would have been, like, doing a lot of, like, just mouthing to her, like, ask some more fucking questions. Who is it?
Yeah.
Ask them. Go on. You know, like, no, don't give it to me. I'm not supposed to be here. Ask, who is it? You know, like, I don't think I would just take the phone. So I agree.
To be there. Like,
I think that would be part of it.
It's a very clandestine meeting, correct?
Well,
like, he's not supposed to be there. I would be like, nobody's supposed to know I'm here. Like, yeah, like you said, ask some fucking questions. Don't just be like, it's for you. Like,
yeah, and then the creepy voice
cells to rub together
that just says, I know what you're doing, doctor. I mean, couldn't this person just have blackmailed him or something? Locked him in the fucking shit-covered bathroom. I can't even believe that nonsense. So...
That's a real point of contention with you. The shit.
Listen, I am very, very upset if that's where I land in life. Like, in this shit-covered bathroom. It's very upsetting.
I feel like you'd be yelling for cleaning supplies. Like, do you have any Lysol at all? Please?
Yes, you're right. I would have taken off my fucking flannel shirt and started wiping shit down.
It's like Monica from Friends. Okay, everybody stop moving.
Yeah.
We need to clean.
That's exactly right. We need to wipe this up just a little bit. We're barefoot. Our skin is in contact with surfaces. We're going to need to get things right before we can work on this puzzle. Okay?
Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Time's up. Fuck it. Shoot me. Everything's clean
Yeah,
now.
that's
Let's
right.
go.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. So the doctor, good question. Who pays you? I liked that. Like, that was a smart question. It's like his first, like, okay, who pays you? And he says, Bob. And he starts saying, well, who's Bob? You know, give me a description. And it's a tall black guy. I did not remember that coming, that it was going to be Danny Glover.
No, I didn't see that coming either.
That was the one paying him. So we determined that, and he basically says, like, oh, I know exactly who that is. He's been obsessed with me because he thinks I am this killer, you know.
Yeah.
But he was discharged from the force. Like, he's not even a cop anymore. So we just also discovered that, like, he has lost his job. He is officially not a cop anymore. And then Adam sees someone in one of the pictures, that because there were pictures in that bag with the saws that never got revealed.
Yeah.
That get thrown all around the room. And then he sees a person in one of the pictures that were like surveillance pictures of the apartment. And that's when the doctor recognizes Zepp, the orderly.
Yeah.
What a strange name, Zepp.
What's that short for?
Yeah.
Zeppo?
Zeppoli?
What did you say?
Is it Zeppoli? Zeppoli? Isn't that like some Italian dessert?
It's like, is that a fucking name that you just busted right out of your ass? What? Somebody working?
No, I'm not that creative.
Zeppoli.
No.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so then they're out of time. And, you know, things are getting frantic in the doctor's apartment. And I like the mom and kid do get themselves, like, untied. But they do a fake out, which I like that. This is a very Melissa-style thing to do. Like, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but if I'm the kid, I'm like, yo, you just took this thing out of my mouth. Now we're putting it back in? Okay, no, okay. No, fine.
Oh, well, if I tell you, yes, that's exactly what you're going to do.
Oh, Jesus Christ, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
girl,
Fuck.
we making it through this. Put that shit back in your mouth and be quiet. Pretend like your hands are still tied. Here we go. Watch me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I liked that. I love the fake out. That was the first, like, smart thing that we see happening, like, in the apartment, that it's like, oh, okay, maybe there is a way out for them. Because, like, they haven't really given us a lot of hope for the poor mom and daughter.
Right.
And so here's the thing, though. We go from the fake out, which is great, to mom getting control of the gun and then doing the same stupid girl shit that every girl does in a horror movie. Fucking hesitates. Shoot that motherfucker. Ask questions later.
Yes. Agreed. He has taken you hostage. You have every fucking right to just shoot him. Shoot him.
Yeah. But, I mean, you'll certainly get cheers. You certainly get cheers from the audience if she just fucking blows his shit out. But then, you know, you don't get the payoff of her, you know, actually being a decent human being and be like, I shouldn't shoot him. I should just wait for the cops. But I'm with you. She should have just blown his shit out.
I'm for shoot to injure.
Shoot him on the shoulder. Leg,
Knees.
Take out a hip.
Whatever.
It's fine.
Take out a hip.
It's fine.
Nice.
Shoot to injure. You know.
Oh. All right.
Just saying. I have in my notes.
Oh,
shoot that
fine.
MFer. So
I just have shoot him. Shoot him.
well,
Yes.
Danny Glover, the little spy guy across the street or whatever. Now
Little bitch
he's
boy.
a little alarmed, so he does head over. And then I put in my notes.
No, he wasn't alarmed when he saw someone who's not Dr. Gordon in the apartment, but now he's
Right.
alarmed because he heard a gunshot.
Right. That's it. Yeah,
Questions.
it's well, now we're questioning, was he really fired due to his issue with his partner, or is it just because he's a terrible detective? A terrible detective.
Awful
He's
cop.
terrible, and he's a
Awful
terrible
cop.
shot as well because he can't hit the broadside of a barn because he is whipped out his gun and shot at that guy so many times, but has not hit him.
I will tell you, though, I did write in my notes, finally, a stab with the scissors. Mm-hmm. The mom has
Yes,
a...
And it's
It is
satisfying.
very satisfying.
It's satisfying, too.
She stabs with the scissors. There's a shootout. Of course, Danny's gun jams. The girls do get out.
Of course his gun jams, because he's a terrible cop. I mean, come on.
He hasn't been cleaning his gun. I mean, he hasn't been maintaining it to the proper... Look at where he lives. He lives in a graffiti-filled apartment.
Shit.
With
And
3-week-old Chinese food. I mean, he's not maintaining his gun.
He left his
It's
gun
not
on the
happening.
kitchen table since he got fired.
yeah, and then it's like now, and this whole time, the wife, the phone was connected to the doctor, so now he doesn't know what happened. He hears this big tussle, and now he doesn't know if his wife and kid are okay or anything, right? And so I also wrote, now there's some goofy car chase with Danny and Zepp, and they're...
Oh my god. So I wrote, I laughed out loud at this car chase because I turned
Same.
to Dave and I go, this is where you can tell that they did not have the budget for a car chase. 'Cause
It is a
was
black screen lit from the front with a fog machine.
Yeah.
Yup.
They said that it's like, it was all done inside, and they just flashed lights and
Oh,
moved
you
the
could
car
totally
around
tell.
a lot.
Uh-huh. And you could totally tell. And I laughed so hard. I was like, this is where they save their money. Right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It's like one of the production assistants was like, all right, I'm going for a Spirit of Halloween run or a Party City run. Anybody need anything? Yeah, we need like 100 loose M&Ms and, a fog machine if they have one. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yep.
Here, we're just going to shake the camera a bit. And you guys, like, frantically move the wheel of your steering wheel around. And we'll just throw in some strobe lights and
Nobody
we'll
will know
make
the
a car
difference.
chase.
It's fine.
No
Yeah.
one, no one will know.
No, we noticed.
So the cell phone's ringing, but the doctor can't reach it, and Danny and Zepp are out of the cars now, and they're chasing and shooting, and it's okay. The big climax is happening, and Dr. Lawrence is losing it. He is,
He went full fucking psychotic.
and he is cutting off his foot. Okay,
This is where I turned into a little bitch and just clenched my fingers and
Yeah, Raptor has a real problem with, like, this doesn't bother me because
it hurts me right now.
There's 3 seconds of sawing
Makes my
and then they
teeth
cut
hurt.
away, and it's very smartly done. But if I know Raptor like I know my best friend, she has a real problem with limbs and especially fingertips and toes getting cut off.
Yes.
Really?
Case in point.
It's hurting me right
I
now.
think... Yes, I
Case
think
in point.
Raptor and I were the same people, and I was sitting in my bed going like, like, Dave's like, are you okay? And I was like, I can't watch. And I was just a frantic mess. Like, that was really hard to watch.
Well,
I'll give you an example. So has anyone ever seen the remake of House of Wax?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. So Raptor and I were actually having a conversation. This was before we ever did the podcast. We were just having a conversation. And the part of that movie came up in the conversation where Alicia Cuthbert sticks her finger out of the grate, and that mechanic cuts the tip of her finger off.
No!
Raptor immediately...
Done!
This is the reaction, and I was talking to her about it, and she went... almost blew the windows out in my car.
Oh my gosh. Now, see, I think I'm like you. Like this, that didn't bother me that much with this. I was just like, oh, Dr. Lawrence, take a fucking few deep breaths. What are you doing?
Raptor, you might want to take your headphones off for this. If they had, so if they had shown the 3 seconds of cutting and then cut away and then cut back to him actually finishing the cut and having to maybe yank that last piece of skin off, that would have made me uncomfortable. Yeah!
Yes.
Fucking
Yes.
A.
I was like, oh shit.
Raptor's like vomiting in the corner right now, and
Am I safe now?
You're safe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
yes, I was not safe. 'cause
I'm
I
getting
stayed on,
laughed
but
at right
you can
now.
Be safe.
But Raptor, when you listen to this show back, you won't be safe.
I'm not listening to it. Nope. Not happening. I'm skipping.
Okay. So, the makeup artist in me at this point in time was just
I bet you were losing
horrified.
your fucking shit.
horrified at his face and his makeup because I was like,
Well, but at the same time, it almost was making a little more sense. Like, let's just make him very white because, I'm going to guess there's some blood loss when,
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
I know.
It was terrible.
Look.
It looked like bad zombie makeup is what it looked like. It was really
shockingly terrible.
However, his acting was pretty on point. Like, he looked like he was in shock.
Which is
but
unfortunate
it was
that the makeup
so
was so distracting.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That's what I thought. I was like, because I thought his makeup, actually the entire movie was distracting. Because even when he was made up as a regular person, I thought that they made him look a little odd.
It made me wonder if there was... It made me really ask myself, like, well, is it the makeup person, or was there something really weird going on with Carrie Ewells that, like something they were trying to cover, or, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
that was bad makeup.
It was bad.
I'm sorry, it was...
And it was very...
distracting. It was very apparent in those, yes.
And maybe also because he is a well-known actor, it's like, what his face looks like. So it's like...
Right.
It makes that more obvious then, because it's not like he's an unknown, where you could be like, oh, that's kind of a weird looking dude. It's like, he doesn't normally have that strange pallor.
Pallor?
Like, I will say that when he's yelling and screaming, like, fuck this shit, and screaming all these curses, the vision of Inigo Montoya in The Princess Bride kept running through my head saying, you keep using that word. I don't think you think it means what you think it means.
I don't think you know what it means.
Yep. So there is a struggle happening at this point between Danny Glover and Zepp. We cut back to that, and I just wrote in my notes, what is Danny Glover doing in the gun struggle? Like, what are you doing? It's like he was trying to get him to, like, point the gun at himself and shoot it. Like, trying to get Zepp to shoot it. And I was like, why are you doing that? What are you doing? Just shoot him. You've got the gun. You are in control. Well, he doesn't do that. Danny bites it.
No, he dips out, and Danny Glover shoots himself, and I wrote in my notes, well, thank fuck he's gone.
Danny bites it. He bites it.
Yeah.
It's...
Yeah.
Sorry, he's a goner.
That's fine.
So Lawrence shoots Adam, and, he finally decides, hey, man... my family is priority, and this is supposed to be how I win the game, but it's after 6 o'clock. Remember, rules.
The rules.
Oh.
I'm just saying. Anyway. So Zepp arrives and says, you're too late. It's the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love that Adam gets Zepp with the toilet lid. Just
he rocks his shit.
He goes ham. It is just nothing held back. I love it. And I love when Dr. Lawrence says, "You'll be all right. You're just wounded." It's fine.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, sweet irony.
Yeah, I was like,
like,
are you that great of a shot that you meant it to be that way? But
that was my thing. I was like, did you mean to wound
just
him,
lucked out,
or were you just trying to?
And now you're leaning on your doctor status by saying, "Don't worry, you'll be okay." And then I wrote, "Quote, I'll get help." And then I added, "With my one fucking foot." What?
How far is he gonna make it?
What you gonna do?
He's gonna hop out of there. He's gonna hop out of there real hard.
You ain't even trying to do like a let me crawl up the wall and start hopping on one foot. You just slither out into the labyrinth, the fucking maze of hallways that are out there. I was like, you gotta be back. Kidding me?
Like the Terminator?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Get the kid with the two fucking legs free of his chains or something. I don't know. There just had to be a better way. I was like, okay. If I'm Adam, I'm thinking I'm fucked. One-footed wonder is going for help? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh, okay. Okay, Doc. So, Adam searches Zepp, which I thought that was smart. Like, well, let's see what he's got, because he was looking for a key. he was like, okay, because again, at this point, we still think that this is Jigsaw. Like, this is the guy. And he finds the tape recorder, and there's another fake out. Pretty great.
That was cool.
Yeah, this was good.
That was pretty cool.
Zepp had been poisoned by Jigsaw, and he was all part of the game, too. And the dead guy gets
what did Zepp do? What was wrong?
We don't know
what was wrong
Zepp
with
did.
Zepp. What was he doing? Do we ever? Because I was like, wait, did we figure out like why Jigsaw had
the
poisoned
only
him?
thing I had seen was, like I said, like in the trivia, they were going to make it like that he was, you know, like a child,
like a
molester, pedophile type of thing.
Yeah.
But they never went that way in the movie. So I guess, you know, we're just supposed to assume that there's some reason he's involved. You know,
They just leave it ambiguous.
I can answer that.
Oh.
Do you
Enlighten
want
us.
to go for the ending first, and then I can circle
okay.
back.
Well, the dead guy gets up. That dude just stands right the fuck up.
It's perfect.
And in the movie theater,
he doesn't just get up. He doesn't just get up. He acts like he was just birthed.
Yeah,
and he just, like, baby deer in the headlights, and then he peels the makeup off of his head.
I mean, now, granted,
And
I'm going to tell you, you youngins, coming up here on 41 tomorrow, if you've been laying on that floor for 3-4 hours, waiting on Dr. Lawrence to kill Adam, you're going to need to be birthed up. You ain't getting up spry.
Listen, I feel you. I feel you.
I mean, his slow motion, like, kind of crawling up to on all fours, and the lights are blinking, and we're watching him. I was like, oh, yeah, I feel that pain. Just hard to stand up and do your thing.
Yeah, but then
Get the blood
and
flowing
then, like,
through those limbs.
the look on Adam's face was fucking
Yes.
priceless. Like, what the fuck? And it was quite, like, I remember watching it for the first time of my just like, what the fuck? And then he tells Adam that the key to those chains is in the bathtub, and the key went down the drain when he pulled it out after he got out of the tub in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, he's just absolutely fucked.
Well, and then the fact that, you know, I want to say that one thing that I thought I was really trying to remember hard is if I did see this in the movie theater, it had to be great being in an audience with a reaction to that.
Yeah.
Like when you're seeing, you know, like when you're in a theater for that, and then like everybody's like, no, you know, like what? It just, you know, the energy in that room was probably awesome the first time you see that.
And the score definitely helps.
Mm-hmm.
So that 3/4 chord piano score to pipe it in the background. You're like, the only thing you left have to do is shit your pants because
I mean,
you've gone through all your emotions. The only thing left to do is shit your pants because this dead guy just got the fuck back up, and then he electrocutes Adam again with the chain buzzer.
yes.
And so he's had it the entire time.
Yeah.
So he had to have his hands out of view because he had the tape recorder in one hand and the pistol in the other hand. So he had to have. Was he pressing the buzzer with his penis? Like where? Like, was he pressing the buzzer?
I don't know.
There.
Oh, you know what, Raptor? You know me by now.
This is where, like, so, okay, great. It's great to see him get up, but, like, when you rewatch this and you already know the ending, you're like, how did they not know that this dude was alive? Because my first thought was, okay, did he trank himself?
Yeah.
That was my first thought.
For. I mean,
he also has to be aware enough to be able to shock them because he was the one that shocks them, not Zepp.
And the other thing is if you trank yourself, you're going to be visibly breathing. Like, you're not going to be able to control that.
Right.
You know, like
I'm pretty sure there is a not a medication, but there is some chemical compound that you can put in your body that will slow your breathing to a couple deep breaths every minute. That's totally possible. Yeah. Or unless he, you know, unless there's a different backstory and he's like training his breathing for this specific purpose.
On top of cutting out puzzle pieces and wearing his Rocky cape and all that shit, coming up with all these puzzles. I mean, come on.
Right, because when you think about it, you're like, okay, so he has been laying in the exact same position for however many hours. How many hours were they? It was like 10 a.m. when they started.
Yeah.
10 to 6 was
it was
like
8
hours.
hours. So he has not been able to move for 8 fucking hours. So is he pissing himself? Is he like...
I mean, I can hold it, so...
For 8 hours?
Absolutely, 1,000%.
Well, I guess you
I
are
am
the
a teacher.
camel,
I
so
cannot
whatever.
go to the bathroom when I want. I will pee at like 5 in the morning when I get up, and I will pee at 4:30, 5 o'clock when I get home. I can go 12, 16, you name it. I can hold it.
No,
How
no fucking way.
yeah.
I have a child's bladder. No.
Yeah, but he is not allowed to move. So, like, he can't, like, just be like, I'm going to adjust. And maybe when the lights went out, like, he could be like, oh, I'm going to adjust for a second and then go back down. Like, but it's really hard for me to be like, okay, so, but he has to be aware enough at those points where he can shock those two people.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't shock them, like,
Well,
does he,
to
like,
be
drink himself for 4
fair,
hours?
when the
But,
shock
like, are you
happens-
aware of your...
I feel like, well, at least the only way I can figure that explains itself a little bit is when the shock happens, the tension is high, and they have clearly not focused on the body at all. That, like...
Well, yeah, the body's an afterthought.
Yeah, that obviously,
He's
like,
already-
you
he's
know,
already dead.
maybe it's more plausible that he was able to do all of those things because they are so focused on their situation and think that, well, we can't even reach to touch the dead body. The dead body is there. We don't know who that is. Like, nothing. That was more I think, less of the whole, like, how possible was it for the dude who was laying there to do that. It was, I will admit, I felt like it was a little weird that they didn't even question. Like, well, who the fuck is
Who
that?
that guy was.
Like, I know we woke up here and we don't know each other, but then especially once they figure out that they are connected, like, oh, well, I was hired to take pictures of you. Well, then who's that guy? And how did he end up there?
Well, was there a tape originally in the cassette?
No.
It would appear not.
Which would seem weird, because why would he be holding on to that with no tape?
Scare tactics. The Jigsaw maybe just put him there for scare tactics.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to get the gun and you have to get the tape recorder away, but it's just like scare tactics. No one wants to see a fucking mutilated body laying in front of you.
Which I will say, I mean, that plays to the whole, I think it is effective that the Jigsaw character does keep calling it a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so then that makes you, as an audience, like, you are like, well, they're being played with. You know, like, that's part of it. It's a game to to the mastermind. So then it turns out, not only did the dead guy get up, but he was, circle all the way back round, he was the patient in the room that they were talking about.
And that's where I'm going to circle back to Zepp being involved, because Zepp, I mean, in Jigsaw's twisted way, he was showing Zepp the same kind of kindness that Zepp was showing him. Like, his name's John. Because Dr. Gordon was being like, well, this patient's got a fucking brain tumor and all that shit, and he's going to die and whatnot. And then Zepp's like, Zepp bombs in, like a boss. He's like, he has a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was it was a really nice moment, and Michael Emerson's a good enough actor to portray that just short line with such emotion. But I think that's what, I mean, damn the fact that they didn't involve his little Chester molester backstory. But
Yeah.
I think he was showing him kindness, but he was going to kill him in the end anyway because he was a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, and then
So
I guess
think,
in a way, too, you could argue that, how I was saying that Adam didn't really deserve to be in there, but Adam would have had the easiest escape route if he would have just, like,
Right.
Calm.
well, yeah, like if he had been a little more calm and hadn't, like, pulled the drain right away and the key went down the drain, you know, like, it's almost like he did set him up to be able to get out of there.
Yeah.
But because I feel like, too, like, Adam's character, they didn't get any darker with that. Like, it was just like, he's a dude that takes pictures of people who are supposedly lying to someone, you know?
Yeah.
But
So, what do you think happens after So, dead guy Jigsaw stands up. He walks out. Do you think he catches Mr. One Foot and
Well,
or lets him crawl away?
I know the answer to that too. Would you like to know the answer to that?
Yeah, because
Yes,
I know
please.
he shows up in the sequels way down the line, right?
He does. He recruits Dr. Gordon to help him out in kind of like a Zep role. There is a scene, and I can't remember. Raptor, have you seen all the Saw movies?
All of them except maybe like the last 2.
Okay. Did you see the one where Dr. Gordon bombs back the fuck in?
Yeah.
Okay. So he comes back into the shit room.
Yeah.
And there's someone else chained up there. Adam's corpse is there, all decayed and bones. And then he looks to his right, and there is his foot still in the chain, all decrepit and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
He recruits Dr. Gordon to help him out.
Dr. Gordon makes it out and doesn't send anybody to help poor fucking Adam,
Nope.
who's been chained up.
No. Which just goes to show that Dr. Gordon is the piece of shit that he was portrayed to be.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, that's-
so you make it out, like you go to the police or whatever, and you don't say, I was chained up with somebody else, you better go find him. You're a asshole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
I think that's what they were going
plot
for.
hole.
Yeah.
Plot hole, maybe, but I think it was smart to bring Dr. Gordon back as a way to like answer that question, like, what the fuck happened to Dr. Gordon? Well, Jigsaw recruited him, and it's funny that when he bombs back into the shit room, he's wearing the Rocky robe.
Oh my god.
And he's with a prosthetic foot.
For fuck's sake. That damn satin boxing robe. I'm not kidding you. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn boxing robe. Oh my god. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the sequels, all right, let's talk about the sequel. I mean, Andrea, Melissa, have you seen any of the
I
sequels?
know that
Saw
I
2?
have.
I saw
They
the second one.
blur together. I remember a bunch of
The
syringes.
scene from the second one, yes, that is burned
Yeah.
in my fucking psyche for the rest of my life. The syringes,
so, I mean,
where she falls
they reveal in
into
parts-
the...
Yeah, they reveal in part 2 that Amanda was the one in the pig
Yes.
mask abducting these people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
feel like-
I remember that, because I remember watching it and going, and turning to Dave in this one and going, isn't she in the second one and she's the one who's doing it? And he's like, yeah. So
'Cause
I
that was a
remember
loose
that.
end.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
'cause she says when they're interviewing her, he
helped
helped
me.
He saved me.
like
Yeah.
as if
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she is grateful for whatever happened, you know.
I know. So in Saw 3, and Raptor, hold your earphones just have them ready. And I said have them ready. So part 3, Jigsaw is dying, and because he's got the brain cancer, and there is a very graphic scene of so he kidnaps a doctor. Amanda kidnaps a doctor to help him, and she performs brain surgery on him in detail. You know what I'm talking about, Raptor?
Yeah.
Yeah, she drills into his skull and then uses a saw to peel back a piece of his skull.
Yeah, that
and then
doesn't
you can
bother
see
me.
his brain undulating and
Oh,
fucking
it's like
firing
it's
and
like
shit.
the Hannibal what Red Dragon?
Oh, the Hannibal
Red
scene.
Dragon?
Yeah, where he feeds Ray Liotta his own brain.
Yeah.
Fire,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Yeah, and then Jigsaw supposedly dies, and then has a police detective take up his work. But then it's revealed in the last one that came out last year that he was still alive, that he faked his death, and I think his cancer was misdiagnosed by Dr. Gordon.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, not only that, but you've also had some girl digging around in your brain.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, like, okay, so all those sequels notwithstanding, like, you know, Saw 1, I think it was really great. Saw 2 was good, but not that great. And then the rest of them were awful. All of them were awful. And then, but like I said before we went on, and I have it pulled up because I wanted to read it, before we started recording, they made another one. Hold on, where is it? No. Oh, shit, I lost it. It is called, hold on. It's called Spiral from the Book of Saw. Upcoming horror film directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, who actually is a very good director.
It really is.
And it is the 9th installment in the Saw series and stars Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson.
What?
Yeah.
I don't. It's losing me with Chris Rock.
All right, I'm gonna read the synopsis because it's. I'm intrigued.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I'm intrigued. Lionsgate officially released synopsis reads: working in the shadow of an esteemed police veteran, Samuel L. Jackson, brash detective Zeke Banks, Chris Rock, and his rookie partner William Schenck, with an actor I've never heard of, takes charge of a grisly investigation into murders that are eerily reminiscent of the city's gruesome past. Unwittingly trapped in a deepening mystery, Zeke finds himself in the center of the killer's morbid game. I'm intrigued because of the Chris Rock thing.
Did you say this is the 9th installment? Like
Jigsaw was part 8.
Wait, so how many Saw movies are there actually?
Saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Saw the final chapter. And then Jigsaw.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm way behind.
Way to milk something for its fucking money. Everything it's worth.
I mean...
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
like Samuel L. Jackson's, I did watch Snakes on a Plane and... on a plane. I watched Snakes on a Plane and actually found it quite enjoyable. But, motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'll watch anything once. I'm way intrigued.
I will not,
But
because I'm not
do-
watching that Human Centipede. Not doing it.
Yeah, I've seen them each once. I don't really care for them. They are Raptor's jam. Raptor fucking loves them.
Yeah, I do.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Raptor also
Which
loves
movies?
vaginas.
These
and there's
movies
nothing wrong with that
or
either.
Centipede movies?
Okay. What?
Okay,
What movies
so...
are Raptor's jam? These movies or the Centipede movies? Because
What? The Centipede movies is Raptor's jam, just like vagina
Oh.
is. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, I'm not with you there. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Bill. I make things uncomfortable.
Listen.
no, like I can't.
I'm okay with Raptor
I've
liking
read the
vaginas.
synopsis
I
of
am
those-
not okay with
Yeah.
the Human Centipede.
Yeah. No.
I am perfectly comfortable with that. It's fine. It's absolutely
This
wonderful.
conversation escalated quickly.
Just saying.
That's it.
I have standards, and the Human Centipede is not. It's not happening.
No, it's not okay. I don't. Even the idea
Nope.
is not okay.
It's not. It's really
No.
not. It is not okay.
No.
I read the IMDb description. That's enough for me.
Yep. Clear visual. I'm all set.
Done.
Okay, so I have a question. So
Yes.
I think, all right, so the obvious question is, we want to think about if this movie is worth doing kind of what we did. Like, does it kind of hold up a little bit? But before we do that, now that we are aware of the Saw universe, okay, and we're aware of escape rooms and all that, do you think that you would stand a chance in a Jigsaw situation?
Fuck yeah.
No, I would use the chains to hang myself.
Raptor says yeah?
Yeah.
Raptor says yes. Oh, Raptor will fuck everybody up. She'll break that goddamn chain out of the foundation.
Yeah.
She don't give a shit. I would probably scream and pee and then yank my foot so hard that my foot would separate from my body. So that I would just get out of there by happenstance. Just by dumb luck. If I fucking pull hard enough. But other than that, no, I don't know. I do not think I have the resolve to be in a situation like that. Although it's hard to say because I would find myself or any of us hard pressed to be in actually that specific situation. But I don't have the constitution to withstand that, not at all.
Yeah, I think what would be hard is, I think first of all for me would be like, I could probably easily be put in a bad spot with getting too frustrated, like not being able to figure out whatever the fuck he wants us to figure out. Like not finding the X marks the spot, like thinking of turning the lights off, like that kind of thing. Like I think I'm a little more straightforward of a thinker, so it's like we have to get out. These goofy clues, I think that would start to make me a little, and then if it was like, I don't know, the time pressure of the girl who had to cut the dude open, that I probably would not.
I absolutely would not have the balls to fucking cut somebody open. No. Dead or not. I'll
cut a bitch.
That situation.
Hell yeah, Raptor.
No. That situation in particular, I don't think I would have. That's too quick. It's too quick. Yeah. Like it's like 60 seconds, like live or die, and I don't think I could psych myself up enough to be able to like do that to somebody else that I knew was alive. Like no.
Like, okay, my other question, besides the obvious answer, unless you have a fully thought out answer. Is there anyone you would have recast in this movie? Now, I know you're all thinking about Danny Glover, and I'm trying to say that that's the obvious pick.
Okay, I would recast Danny Glover with Bruce Willis.
Ooh, okay. All
right. Tobin Bell as Jigsaw? No, I think he's absolutely fucking fantastic. I don't know. I like Shawnee Smith too. I like her as an actress.
I thought she was good as Amanda. So, I agree with that.
I would make Asian guy the lead detective and make Bruce Willis the sidekick because he was a really good cop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that I don't know. I would tend to cast someone well known in the Dr. Gordon role. Like Carrie Eels is well known, but someone like ridiculously famous and not bill them at all. Don't put like on the posters. Don't put who's in it. Yeah, like
like
sometimes on the bottom of posters they have the
kind
production
of thing, like a
like bury the lead, and then when they turn the lights on, it's fucking
Brad Pitt.
No, yeah, see, I thought of that, but I'm like, no, Clooney.
Yeah.
Even though George Clooney would, I mean, well, he did do Batman and Robin, but he like I don't like now that he's won an Oscar and shit.
Sure.
I don't think he would have. The balls
I'm just sort of saying, like, pretending that you weren't in this situation of the super low budget film. You know, like if you could,
if I had an unlimited budget,
recast something just where, because like I said, I think Danny Glover is the obvious choice, and not that he couldn't have maybe done something with it, but again, just phoning it in, making that someone else.
Okay, all right. If I had to recast one role, I would recast Danny Glover with Mel Gibson.
Just gonna stick with that Lethal Weapon theme?
Well, one, because it's fucking hilarious, and two, because I like Mel Gibson as an actor. I think he's a great actor.
Not as a person. He's a trash bag as a human being, but...
Well, he's a piece of shit. Or, wait, no, take it back. Liam Neeson.
Oh. He would be a better role as the cop.
Okay, but I do feel like then he can't fuck up as much. We do need the Danny Glover character to fuck up in order for this to actually... You know what I mean?
Carl Winslow from Family Matters.
Reginald Val Johnson? What the fuck?
Sorry, but wasn't he already the cop in Die Hard, and he did a good job?
He was.
Yes!
All right, no. Jaleel White. Let's go full Steve Urkel.
Jaleel White. Oh, my God.
because then when he fucks up and he goes, did I do that? Fucking hilarity. Cut the checks.
Oh, my God.
So, okay, was Donnie Wahlberg one of the cops in one of the other movies?
Part 2, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Because actually, he would be a good cop, a good replacement for Danny Glover in this movie.
Yeah, but, okay, well, we can't take that out because we can't retcon that because he's already in Part 2.
I know.
So, all right, hang on.
Mark Wahlberg,
no,
and then he dies, and then his brother takes
that.
over in Part 2.
No, fuck that. No.
I
Fuck
feel
both.
like
That's
there's
awful.
an opportunity there for that character to have been played a little bit better.
I got it. And yes, he's a piece of shit now, and he's been blackballed from Hollywood, but I got it. Kevin Spacey.
See, I was thinking Kevin Spacey for The Orderly, but that is very similar to the what he played in Seven.
Fair enough. Okay, hold on.
And I feel like they didn't...
I got it. Dave Chappelle. What the fuck is funny about that? I'm serious.
Maybe. I don't know.
Did y'all see A Star Is Born? He was great in that movie.
I did not see that movie.
Oh my god, it's great. You should see it.
Raptor, fucking help me out. They don't like any of my ideas.
I don't either.
She just threw you under the bus.
Yo, y'all... Seriously, Raptor, fucking lend a hand.
I did like that, like, no female characters die in the movie. That's a very horror, like, cliche, and, like, the fact that the wife and the kid make it out, or they don't have some... And even Amanda makes it out, like, that is pretty...
She's the only survivor.
Yeah. I think that's pretty cool. Because that's a very easy route to take.
I got it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I got it. Hold on. And y'all are gonna laugh, but then you'll be thinking about it days from now, and you'll be like, okay, yeah, makes sense. And he's not with us anymore. Patrick Swayze.
No.
What the?
What about John
Yeah, see-
Goodman? John Goodman.
There it is.
Yeah. He could do a good job with that. Because then also the whole, like, I think that he could have an opportunity to play a little bit of, like, getting unhinged. Like, he's not really, he's obsessing too much. And then it would make sense that, like, too, if he always kind of played it like, like not really good at like the gunfight piece, or like I feel like he could put some more flavor on that would make us understand why that character just doesn't, figure it out. I think Danny Glover doesn't really do it justice.
No, but now I just want to go back to Andrea's answer of Reginald Val Johnson from Family Matters.
Let's recast this whole movie with TGIF lineup actors.
Bet money. Okay. Zepp is played by Bob Saget. And Jigsaw is played by Patrick Duffy from Step by Step. And Amanda is played by Punchline, Suzanne Summers. And Melissa... no, take that back. Amanda is played by Melissa Joan Hart. And then...
Adam is Uncle Jesse.
What's that?
Adam is Uncle Jesse. John Stamos.
No, it's got to be no.
David
no.
Coulier.
Adam is played by Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be a good one.
Yeah, and then fucking who plays Dr. Gordon? Raptor. TGIF, help me out.
What?
We are professionals at TGIF.
Yes.
Who from the entire TGIF lineup would be a good replacement for Dr. Gordon?
Ooh.
Bronson Pinchot from Perfect Strangers.
Yes!
That kind of could work. That could kind of work.
Yeah.
I could almost see that.
That'd be a
fuck yes.
whole new. That'd be a whole new TGIF lineup there.
So I feel like this movie. Now you guys were saying some, like about watching it. I remember at the time not ever really going back and watching it again. I did like that I had this big span of time to like forget. I almost feel like if I was going to recommend this to somebody, I think that's a good thing. Like if you've seen it before, it's okay. I think
Have some time.
you won't remember. Because I think everyone remembers that the dead guy gets up. It's like...
Because I think the entire movie led to that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the one remembering point. But, like, the guy baby birthed it into he breech birthed it out up at the end. So yeah.
And obviously, because this went such a big route with like sequels and stuff, it definitely isn't necessarily worthy of like a remake. You know.
If I were to have to sell it to somebody who's never seen it before, I'd be like, don't ever watch any of the sequels. Use this as a standalone, and you'll be satisfied.
I think that's a great assessment for sure.
Just leave it alone after that.
Yeah.
Like, don't
leave it be.
Maybe 2, but
nah, don't.
Then
it's okay. You're all set. Once the 1 foot wonder slithers away and the guy stands up, you are all set. You're good.
Yeah, I think that it is. It's one of those that like it really didn't need sequels. It was awesome as a
hats off to them though for making as much money as they have off of this. I've actually never really understood it, and I've watched so many documentaries about the whole slasher film franchise thing that I personally don't totally understand. I am typically like, I like the first movie and then I'm all set. And even like I've struggled a little bit with that with the Halloween franchise because I will religiously watch just the Jamie Lees. So I'll usually do 1, 2, H2O, and then I did like the new one. I really liked it a lot.
I didn't see that one yet.
Really
oh my gosh, it's absolutely great. Like it's worth it. It's very satisfying.
Very
That's another one.
But like I'm a fan of the Rob Zombie Halloweens, and Raptor gives me shit for it. I really like the first Rob Zombie Halloween.
I can watch.
I was not a fan of that one.
I still haven't watched the second one. I can't do it.
That is unnecessary.
I watched the first one and I just I think you lose on this round. I think the vaginas have it on this round.
100%.
All right, well, fine. But listen, I am a sucker for storytelling, and not that Michael Myers needs a backstory because they accomplished that in the first 2 minutes of the original one. But the fact that Rob Zombie went so far into his childhood, I like that. I don't know, I liked it. Vaginas 1, Bill 0.
Yeah, that's pretty much how that plays out.
Yeah.
Well, so I think that, basically I'm glad we picked this movie. I didn't realize how long it has been since I've really sat down and watched it. And so I was following along pretty closely because like Andrea, I was like, didn't it all happen in the room? A lot of it escaped me. I didn't remember certain things. I definitely didn't remember Danny Glover at all.
I mean, you
rightfully
should.
So.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that, this was a good one. So I'm really happy that we came together to do this one. It was,
hell yeah.
It was a good one to watch, and it was cool to get everybody's perspective on it. So that being said, I guess we can say thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this is awesome. If you want to check out and get in on the conversation about Saw or recommend a movie or anything like that, you can head to our social media pages. You can look for Gold Star Media, 14 Going on 40 podcast, Inside You with Bill and the Raptor on all the socials.
InsideYouPodcast.com.
Yes, InsideYouPodcast.com. And, just don't forget that it helps us if you rate, review, or subscribe. But really, just share this episode with somebody who needs to hear all of our antics about Saw. I think it's totally worth it, for sure.
I mean, if you want a rolling 3 hours about poo and scat stories, please listen.
That's
shit.
It.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit. Yes,
it just comes right back around to shit. Just comes right back around to shit. Well, if nothing else, once again, we have proved that even in the pandemic situation we're living through right now and everything, watching movies together as friends is the most fun. For sure.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, and thanks for the conversation. I really needed this.
Absolutely.